lead I've ever seen.
It feels bad for RSG in her situation.
Doesn't care.
Soul is just eating it. Oh my goodness, that is demoralizing.
Oh, Mimo's got no damage right now. They've got no money. They're so broke.
This is terrible.
This is unplayable.
This is almost unwatchable.
Well, unwatchable is one thing, but I do gotta say that Homeboys, just look at how efficient they're traversing the map, right? Zero fear about trading against RSG MY because every trade is in their favor.
Izanami's gone for a Wishing Lantern, second item.
He's having the time of his
Yeah,
life.
he's just so farmed at this point that why not, right?
Dude, that's so crazy. Wishing Lantern, dang. Oh, man. 9K lead, about to hit 10K. Final turtle's gone.
That is insane.
Could they go for an endgame push? How far? Okay, I'm curious to know how far behind is RSG realistically, right? 9K down, first item is about to be complete. By the time they get into 21... Wait, what? Wait, what? When he got his tier 2, he got the Feather of Heaven. Did he not go for Starlight Sight first item, or was he more nervous about the health regeneration?
No, he got Starlight Sight first item.
Okay. I was just making sure because the numbers weren't adding up there for a moment. Okay, so at least that means he's got 2 complete items. Maima needs a second item. Stoem probably should be getting close to finish his first item. I don't think he will go for the Thunderbelt considering how far behind they are. Ripple, I mean, it doesn't matter at this point.
Revo needs items. The unfortunate fact of main EXP is you need items to actually contribute. And he does not have that right now. Even the EXP difference between these teams has to be massive at this stage. Izanami topping the damage deal. Maima just using Feathered Airstrike in the middle of nothing. Does actually force out 2 ultimates for Homeboy, so that's not bad.
I mean, sure, it sounds like a great idea until they see that the Lord is spawning right now. And now he just needs to stand next to Ilha. Flash again. Try it. Better use your flash. Oh, wait, you already used it.
He actually got the stun.
Okay.
Not gonna full commit. In the bottom lane, Deadly Cat's gonna be used. I'm on force as well, but it doesn't matter. Stoem dies under his own inhibitor.
This is a massacre. This is an absolute massacre right now. The Fracture does no damage to Izanami. He just tanked it. Didn't even flinch.
Hello guys.
We could be seeing a very early end here at this point. I don't know what RSG can even do. Blade Surge will miss. Amal actually takes a lot of damage by diving in too early, but the Lord collides with the mid inhibitor. Soul will be able to whittle it down, no problems at all. I think they might be able to get top as well. Even bottom being taken out by the Homeboys. They're not going to try and force this.
There's honestly no need to. There's the second wave, and now that they have all of their ults, there might be a very good chance here that Homeboys might just pull the trigger with RWF.
The air
going to be the next target. Feathered Airstrike already used. The zones out is Izanami, though Maima drops low instant lead. Fracture gonna be used. Stoem tossed into the team. Reward manipulation comes out, but the Gatling Cat finishes off Izanami. An unstoppable streak already taken by the Amal. Double kill for Suyo. So picks up 1 because why not? It is a one-sided slaughter as Ilha turns into a mosquito on the dashboard as the Homeboys run them down with no mercy.
Homeboys playing Truck Simulator RSG, just colliding with the windshield. Deadly game, an absolute massacre here by the Homeboys.
That has to be one of the most demoralizing defeats I have ever
They get destroyed again.
In MPL.
Oh my god.
Man, that early game damage
How they
is ridiculous.
come back like
Jawhead plus Suyo, disgusting. Actually disgusting.
Now I have a new combo to try out in pubs. Oh boy. There's so much. Like, what do you even discuss? Is it because of the mispick? Is that it?
All right, let's say it was mispicked. Let's say it was a mispick, right? From the speculations out there, what would you change about it?
Bane?
I feel like it's not Bane's fault in that case. I really don't think it's his fault here. I do think that they could have... I want to see what some of the itemizations were, or at least where their head was at. But I do think that Storm needs to play a more defensive role in the early game. I guess they just weren't expecting the raw damage of Mal and Amal. Because keep in mind, homeboys, they played the early game with a set plan. Go for the double leash, instantly invade on the blue side, on the purple side of the map, move into blue side territory, and make sure they get punished for it as soon as they hit level 4. Pre-level 4, they're getting ganked.
Yeah, the plan was really good from the homeboys. I like their draft quite a lot. And I can see where you're coming from with Bane not being the cause of this. But I feel like if Rippo was on a better EXP lane hero, he could have maybe stopped the bleeding a little bit, right? Because those initial ganks in the EXP lane, he can't do anything. He may have been able to help a little otherwise, but Amal, that Suyo gameplay, definitely deserving of MVP.
Nasty stuff coming out from this kid. Very young as well, Amal. A lot of potential as a jungler overall, but looking at his build, it looks like he likes to go for something a little different. Lethal Ignition as his main emblem, but he also goes Hunter Strike, Malefic Roar, BOD, War Axe. Now the War Axe is a little, I don't want to say, controversial is probably too strong of a word, but definitely preference amongst the studio players.
His one is different from Chibi,
to go for pure damage, but if you are going for War Axe, you're most likely going to hold your abilities.
It means that you intend to fight longer, and a lot of players will skip the item because if you play Suyo in more of an in and out assassin style, it doesn't help as much. You can even see his GPM though, 1056.
Not surprised.
Not the highest, but top 3, definitely.
Honestly, they probably should have dragged this game longer so that they can try and overcome GB's highest amount of GPM achieved in a total in a game. But yeah,
ending the game
honestly,
in 10 minutes,
looking
guys.
at it, nothing much that they could have done. Crush, he's so rich, That's very insane. Rich. 2 items almost about to be done with the dominant size. Honestly, was maybe even considering going for the Queen's Wings just for funsies.
And they only got 1 kill. I wish I was there.
Didn't help them too much. Even if you don't consider the
I was
mispick
sleeping,
here, when you see homeboys lock in Suyo Jawhead, you immediately know early game you gotta have some lane priority so you're able to roam around and help.
To stream to the
Hylos already isn't actually that good at stopping invades. He's just there to soak damage. So mid and EXP become a lot more important. And well, Farsa and
Bane in the tournament, I have to stream.
Not exactly the greatest pushers at level 1. That's what we'll say for sure. Level 1, level 2, pretty tough for them. Pretty tough, especially with their lane matchup being so dominant. Like Izanami outranges Paimon with the Void Blast alone. So trading against them is pretty difficult. Crush naturally can just clap Rippo if ever he wants to try and push the wave and not trade against them. Crush is going to focus on him.
Bro, what is happening?
Yeah, it was very smart from the homeboys. Maybe even a little bit bullying considering the circumstances, but it is exactly what they need to do. Immediately identifying that RSG's early game is quite weak. As long as they disable Ilham right from the get-go, they don't have anything to worry about until mid-game or when RSG gets some items. And so Ilham was just treated as a punching bag.
Poor Ilham. He had such a rough game. He just wanted to end up on the EXP side of the map, man. He needed to help out his boy Rippo and got punished for it. I can't say much about it, honestly.
You can't stop the enemy invade, so you're giving up buffs. And then there was even at one point where he wanted to farm the jungle camp. He saw Amal pop out of the tri-bush and still went for the farm because of how desperate he was for something. He was thinking, oh, if it's just Amal, maybe I can get the camp. Then 3 people pop out and blow him up.
But that's the thing, I don't know. It's one of those things that you don't think about until it's too late. Because Nolan has one of the fastest clear speeds in the game. Like, hands down, no questions asked about it. Suyo doesn't even compare to it. So it feels very weird to be like, I did the exact same jungle path rotation. Suyo was invading my jungle, so technically he should be behind on tempo in terms of rotating unless he got help. So by the time he gets to that purple buff and moving up to that tri-buff, as soon as he sees Amal, he should already know, I haven't seen Jawhead anywhere else on the map, and he's in a particular spot where he shouldn't be at this time. Process of elimination, there's like 3 people in that tri-brush.
And yet, RSG, I think, were already in a bad state of mind when the game started. There was no real game plan going into it. So they weren't prepared for anything, basically. The Jawhead leashing the second camp is always something you have to consider. But because of their draft, they already have to play defensive just in case he decides to invade level 1. And then when he invaded level 2, the timing was already off.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great opening coming in from the homeboys. I think the RSG probably got to rethink how exactly they're going to deal with this early game composition coming in from the homeboys anyways. And I feel like as much as I want to believe that Khalid is going to be the way to go, it's just a lot of CC as well from the homeboys.
Yeah, Khalid is not bad though. Rippo has already made a lot happen in some previous series with this hero in particular. So just going for it will at least give him lane priority no matter his opponent. Because just looking at this, the GPM from Amal is crazy. Izanami being both the carry and the best wingman. Definitely looking back in form on a hero like Eve.
Yeah, looking great, looking great. Feels comfortable, feels at home for Izanami. But this game ended so quick. Roughly 12 minutes and 35 seconds here. And we're seeing that Izanami got his going wand pretty early, like 5 minutes, about to go 6, and then the Demon Shoes immediately after the 6 minutes. Man.
Do you normally go Demon Shoes?
Why are you showing 12?
In Izanami's case, yes.
Okay.
Because he's not going for Enchanted Talisman.
Okay.
Oh, that's true, right?
Yeah.
Right.
First item glowing wand, and then second item into the wishing lantern. Personally, I would have thought that he would go straight into Ice Queen's wand just for the hell of it, because they're already dominating so hard. Might as well just like make their life miserable.
The thing is, Izanami's mindset at that point is not like, oh, their life is already difficult, let me slow them and be annoying. He's thinking, their life is already difficult, I'm gonna end it quickly for them.
At least he has mercy. At least he understands when an animal needs to be put down.
Man, but I'm worried, right? Because both these teams are momentum-based. We've brought that up many times. Homeboys now have momentum. That was a very, very clean victory. But RSG, are they going to have the mental needed for Game 2?
Honestly, I think I'm going to need a little bit of time to think about that, because we're going to be throwing it over to Rose on the offstage segment. Rose, what's going on with you offstage?
Tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, saya tak minta banyak. Saya cuma nak semua berikan perhatian kepada saya. Saya bersama dengan Amir. Amir, sihat? Dan saya juga bersama dengan Real. Tangan kosong. Pegangan?
Sihat, Alhamdulillah.
Pegangan?
Boleh. Saya
Bro, I
join
wish they put
kau tengok
translation,
tadi,
bro.
bila nampak
Would be so
RSG dan
nice.
salah pick, adakah kau bersorak time tu?
bersorak.
Bersorak.
Sorak.
Toksik punya perangai ni, jangan macam tu.
It would be so nice.
Mak ayah marah tau. Oh, tak sorak Okay. Speaking of which, bila dah nampak dah salah pick dah tu.
I just translation when they talk Malaysian or Indonesian, so people
badan
can
awak ke badan orang
understand.
lain?
Badan saya, badan kawan saya.
Oh,
Usually like that, you
macam
just
mana boleh salah
watch
pick
and
Jadi bila nampak tu memang rasa ada
Don't
harapan nak
even
menang
know
ke
what
time
they
tu dah memang
say.
fikir GG lah.
GG lah. Ikut kenyataan lah.
Ikut
Tak
kenyataan.
boleh nak menipu.
Betul. Jadi rasanya salah pick tu
don't you think so,
adakah
guys?
Tuhan
Too?
dah takdirkan untuk
Like
orang
if
salah pick
most
tersebut?
of you guys are from
Untuk homeboys terus layak.
Malaysia,
Awak tak
so
diwakilkan Tuhan, awak tak tahu.
maybe you don't need
Mereka
it.
cakap jangan, tak tahu. Okay, tapi rasanya untuk game kedua ni, kalau RSG diorang pick betul, diorang boleh kalahkan Homeboys, ataupun pick macam mana pun, Homeboys tetap menang.
Homeboys tetap menang.
Homeboys tetap menang. Dari tadi aku usik dia, kau pula.
Jangan dia
I
estimate
feel so
sebab first
bad
game malam kita orang kalah lawan
for
Vamos.
SRG though.
Second game kita orang
Yesterday they
menang lawan
lost.
Vamos. So
Today
anything
too,
can
they
happen.
lost the first game. I
Tengok
hope they
nanti.
come back.
Macam mana?
Vamos tu tim kuat ke?
Vamos tu tim, yelah, Homeboys pun kuat. So apa-apa boleh jadi, diorang pun boleh main,
betul.
Homeboys pun boleh main. So InsyaAllah lah boleh menang.
Bagus. Saya macam nak tanya dia, kalau gitu tim mana yang lemah tapi takut ni kan, rasa kan. Jadi untuk awak, ada kata-kata terakhir untuk Homeboys?
Untuk Homeboys, all the best and 2-0.
2-0.
Real, RSG, diorang perlukan kau.
Untuk yang main atas stage tu, good luck. Korang perlukan 1 point je untuk kita secure slot untuk next season. InsyaAllah. Good luck guys. Do your best.
Real hanya pentingkan yang on stage, yang off stage, dia tak kisah langsung. Bakta balik. Ni. Korang boleh duduk dulu. Terima kasih banyak, Real, Amir. Korang memang dah membantu banyak sangat. Dengan ni, kita akan terus pass kepada kita punya cast. Ya. Ya. Mana phone aku? Sabar jap. Jangan excited sangat. Tolong.
What he's looking for?
Hello?
Oh, you're getting a call.
Ya, saya Melayu. Tak ada soalan lain ke? Oh, tanya. Oh, lagu dah siap.
My guy's laughing
Untuk
aloud.
play off tu? Oh. Tak, sebenarnya aku minta minggu ketiga. Kenapa play off baru siap?
Please,
tapi sedap.
put some translation here.
Jap. Sif ada sekali. Boleh cut part Sif ke? Oh, tak boleh Oh, tak boleh, tak apa lah. Bayar macam mana? QR boleh? Bayar QR Okay. Terima kasih, Mak. Okay, bye. Alright, guys. Lagu playoff dah siap. Bang kamera is okay. Stay je. Sekarang, tim dah bersedia. Kita akan terus pass kepada caster.
Oh my god, the zoom though.
Big shout outs to LaFell taking the stage. Wasn't expecting that one. I thought it was gonna be Rose.
Yeah, you did false advertising.
I did false advertising. I wasn't expecting it, man. I didn't expect it coming. But apparently, even the new song for the MPL might be coming real soon here.
Oh, I'm really excited. I feel like we may have gotten a little bit of a sneak peek there. LaFell forgot to change his ringtone. But all good. Very much looking forward to it. The same way I am looking forward to seeing what happens in this series. Like what our fans said, RSG needs 1 point. If they have 1 point, they could still maybe make it into the next season.
Just one is all they need. We asked Garakuri, our Bahasa broadcaster and commentator, how do you feel seeing RSG now, especially when you also casted for Season 7 when RSG won? A bit sad to see another giant in the MPL MY fall like GeekFan before, but this is just part of their story. I'm also eager to see if they can change the outcome of their story like SRG, who has also fallen before.
Yep, this is a journey. It's a process. Sometimes Titans will fall. Nothing truly lasts forever. And that's why it takes a lot of work, a lot of dedication to make sure that you can keep yourself in the hot seat at all times. All of us were casting when RSG won that championship. It was hype. To see how far they've fallen is quite sad.
It is. It really is. I do hope the best for the organization and all of these individual players here, but they've got to change something here. Despite LaFell with the big leaks, RSG need to make some tweaks to their draft. Hopefully, I mean, I don't know. I feel like the Jawhead Suyo has definitely blindsided me, and I'm already thinking about what can you do in the early game to defend yourself against it.
Well, first, let's consider some of the gold lane picks. Like Carry, for example, right now, having been picked the most by Soul, Net, Ruff, and Lolil. With Soul having 7 picks, quite a lot compared to the rest.
A higher majority compared to the rest. I think that Nets has the best win rate so far. Ruff with only 3 picks, 67 win rate, and Lolil's at 3 picks, 33%, because he has been picking up Claude more often than I would like to see him on it, but still, it's fine. Carry has been the go-to for Soul. That's his like reliable go-to pick when there's nothing else left.
Yeah, it is a pretty reliable hero in the end, because once you get those items in, you can melt almost any other hero in the game thanks to Carry's passive. So it's a pretty safe place to go, but does come with its own set of risks, namely the short attack range in comparison. Especially nowadays that we are seeing more heroes like Harif, like Natan, who are able to control the teamfight a little better.
Let's get into the drafting phase here. Arm ourselves with some weapons. Let's see whether RSG can equalize the score. They just need
game 2.
1 game win against Homeboys to keep themselves out of the red zone. Let's jump right into this. Which side have they opted to go for? Ooh, RSG blue side.
You mean you don't know the team from
Sticking on the blue side.
Okay,
hopefully it doesn't bite them in the butt.
Hopefully right now you know them.
The Suyo combo is still available as of right now. So we'll see whether RSG decides to ban
oh my god,
part of it.
Plus Matilda and Louis.
But they're still going with the
Matilda,
exact same draft. I mean, RSG isn't the type of team to change
Khalid
away from
again,
the game
Khalid.
plan, right? If game 1 they're on blue side,
ban.
game 2 you could pretty much expect the same with minor tweaks to the
Homeboy,
composition.
what are
So
you
I
going
would
to
assume that
ban?
the first 3 picks for RSG is going to be the same.
Who said there are no shortcuts in
Is it
life?
really the best? Harif is fine, personally. Nolan's alright as well, but the high-lows may have not been sufficient for how much aggression Homeboys was throwing at them. RSG is still sticking with the same draft for now.
Shift ban.
3% win rate so far.
Nothing-
1 total bans. Okay, no
Nothing
surprises
crazy.
There. Suyo
Suyo,
Okay,
auto-
Suyo
It is. I wonder if there's like, can we come up with some kind of name for this combo?
Jawhead?
The
Suhead.
Aris from the SRRs.
I'll take Jayo, because Suhead, that sounds a lot worse. That sounds terrible.
It sounds like Jiayo.
It sounds like you're paying for Fulvius up against. Oh wait, Fulvius Nolan. That's different. That's a
Okay.
break of pace.
I do like that a little bit more. Phobius allows for more aggressive action, and similarly to Khalid, will usually win out the 1v1 in the EXP lane.
They get the carry at the end still. Despite everything, I guess Soul is just confident in his capabilities on handling the Harith with the carry, which I think is totally fine.
Who
But
do
now that
I
we go
think
into the
will
second
win?
phase, are they still? Do they still follow the same bans? I feel
Actually,
like
I
for
need to
Homeboys,
wait.
yes,
I
you
need to
still
wait the
follow the
draft
exact
phase
same bans. You go for the
so that
Zushin,
I
you
can
get rid of the
tell.
Zas, you go for the Eve first pick.
I don't know.
Eve did a very, very good job for controlling
Let's
the
just watch,
map
guys.
for the
Let me
Homeboys.
just watch
And since
together. I don't
RC has
wanna
already
make a
locked themselves into the
decision.
Nolan yet again, we already know
All the
that
two teams
early
are
game
strong.
bullying is possible.
But I really hope it's RSG
Thinking about
win.
EXP, right now it's
Because I feel bad for
Fulvius.
them. Yesterday they
Could
lost.
Homeboys get
Today
extra
will be bad if they lost again.
The problem with Fulvius right now is that even though Khalid is strong in the early game, he has a terrible lane matchup against Fulvius overall, right? And as soon as Fulvius hits level 4, it's basically an unplayable lane. You have to commit your ults if you want to go for all-ins, and even then you have no guarantee of connecting against the Fulvius.
Yeah, so that EXP lane matchup going to be important. We can see even RSG getting rid of options there with the Edith being banned out already.
But why don't we
Homeboys
see
still
like
sticking to Zask and Zusin, like you mentioned.
like
Okay,
Helios?
do they also want to
Yesterday
get rid of
games,
CC
people
here?
were
Do they
speaking it like
want to open
crazy,
up
bro.
Valentina just in case,
Helios and
or do they want to ban out the? Because
Well, again-
if we see the Valentina ban here for the side of RSG, that means they
Helios
probably want
and
to pick up
Grok,
the
I
game once
think.
again.
They were getting banned or picked.
Oh, someone rolling.
Oh,
Oh, the Ducati banner. Anything good?
come on, give us something good. Unfortunate, unfortunate.
It's pretty good skins though. Wish we
don't
got a chance to
know.
see more of them.
I don't know. I feel like as much as I'm a big Benedetta fan, I feel like the Leomore Ducati one is better.
I think they're all pretty good in general. I think we can agree that they're all pretty good. You think some of them are not so good?
I mean, what are we comparing it to?
Just like in general, you know, from an objective standpoint. You don't think they're good?
I think that the Benedetta Ducati could use a bit of work. I feel like it's a little
Oh.
counterintuitive with what it's supposed to do and look like, so I do wish there
Yeah,
were a couple
bro.
minor changes, very minor changes. It's the only thing putting me off. But my general bias comes from because I like Benedetta anyways. All right, Arlet, Edith. We see the Yves first pick coming in from Homeboys on the second phase. Everything going up to standard. Now here's the big one. Let's see. Let's see. Now that Fulvius
Okay,
has come
bro.
in, we haven't seen a
Let's
high loss
just
pick
watch.
just yet.
Let's not decide.
Mid-roam going to be very important
We
to
are-
try
we
and
are-
block
we
the
are-
jungle
we are,
against the Jayo combo from
caster, guys.
Homeboys
We
because
need-
it just made
don't
Ilham not
need to
able to play
support
the game
anyone.
in game number 1. You gotta have some early game presence.
They go for high loss. Do they go for instant invade? They can go Khalid roam here as well. Both.
Khalid is banned.
Oh yeah, Khalid is banned. Shucks.
Cho?
Cho. I mean, Cho's
Oh,
okay.
Yves.
It's like it's all right, but it doesn't really solve a lot of their problems. Okay, Vex.
I was considering that as well. the wall could make the paths a little harder to traverse for the homeboys. And Storm has played it before in the past. Vexana gonna be pretty solid as well to deal with any dive heroes. So looking like a much more well-rounded composition.
I don't know what
here.
he said, but
looks closer
funny.
towards what we're
People
used to in the
laughing.
meta so far. Do homeboys shift their picks now? I mean, we've seen
What
Crush
gave,
on both Edith and as
behave.
well as the Phoveus. How deep does his pockets go?
Looking at what's left in the EXP lane.
good luck,
Hylos is
guys.
still open, but I'm not a big fan of it here.
Who are they going to
Terizla
pick
has
right
been
now?
a little less popular.
It's just about wave clear, right?
Crush. Okay,
Yeah,
Ilias.
okay,
I was
still going
asking
for it.
myself
Okay,
when
alright.
they
I'm
will.
expecting an early proxy. Or at the very least, Hylos is going to try and proxy. If he finds any resistance, he's going to go back to lane.
Yeah, having Hylos around does mean that you're able to check both halves of the enemy jungle as well if you want to go for full aggressive movement. So if homeboys are able to continue with the momentum they had before, RSG could be in trouble. But if they're able to find
Good.
that discipline, find that key performance, then they can potentially keep themselves in MPL MY.
I mean, generally, they want to do the exact same thing. An early game composition designed to play around Soul's lane, and they're going to gank Bunny as many times as possible after seeing what RSG did to Vamos when Bunny came up online. They're going to play a traditional front-to-back. Rippo just has to buy as much time as possible, but the whole boys will own this early game.
Well, the land
Game
of Dawn
2.
opens up once again as we witness a battle between two long-time MPL mainstays, both sitting at the bottom of the standings. Any points they can claim will go a long way to keeping their journey alive.
All right, let's jump right into it. RSG on the blue side once again, starting with the purple buff start for Ilham. Homeboys on the red side with Amal also starting on his own purple buff.
Will there be the leash to buff Amal onto level 3? Looks like that is the case. So this time, Storm is scouting it out. He does get the
Oh my
reset.
god.
Oh, Storm's too smart! And Mao, all of his efforts wasted. That's going to be a bit of a delay. Amal, he's not even going to bother with the buff. He's going to go for the smaller camp first, waiting for the cooldowns to get it before he heads to his buff.
It's a slower level 3, not too much slower, but enough to make sure that Ilham will be able to hit his level 3 first, and so he will not be cheesed the same way he was in game 1.
Alright, let's take a quick look at the emblems before we move further than this.
Rush
Looks like
getting-
is out of the
getting
ordinary.
gapped, I think,
Wilderness
by the
Blessing, that's
game.
what I'd like to see. Cooldowns
I think it's
is
normal, right?
That's awkward.
He almost did it again. He almost missed it again.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Oh
Though it
my
does slow him
God,
down a little
Kush.
bit because he has to go back to finish it
Rippo,
off.
go
Now, you see
easy
in
on
the
him,
EXP
bro.
lane, Rippo is winning out that 1v1 against Crush like expected. So this gives RSG priority over the bottom half of the map.
Storm also going for Brave Spite and also wants to make sure he can reduce the cooldowns for his battle spells. Expect to
Oh
see
my
Storm
God.
making, being pretty generous with his wild charge, I would imagine.
Skill 2
Benny?
from the
Benny
Phoveus going
seemed
to be able to
to-
stop
to
Jawhead's engage, and
lane too.
Izanami actually being poked to and forced to recall back the base in mid lane. A much better early game from RSG.
Very standard early game as well. Homeboys, they do have a little bit of a lead of their own, but honestly not that big
Oh
of a
my
deal.
god,
Wow.
Neymar!
Amaima, not
First
too
blood.
sure if he got caught
Amal
out
Doki, bro.
unexpectedly
Oh
there,
my
but
God.
3 members from Homeboys get first blood. This is going to give them advantage for Turtle.
Yeah.
Rippo and Storm are
Now
both
they
in
are-
the
they
area,
are
but so are
elite.
4
Oh,
members
maybe
of the
Rippo's dead
Homeboys.
too?
Izanami not level 4
nice.
yet though, so no RWM.
Nice,
Amal
Rippo,
secures the
Amal.
Turtle. Not much RSG can do.
They back away.
Yeah.
Now that first initial death by Maima actually came from the hands of Mao. He flickered, went for the injector, and they all dived upon him. That's how that first blood occurred.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that's why
Okay.
he's got such a long cooldown on his battle spell. That being said, though, they got to start tracking where Ilham is going to show up because Mal, as much as he wants to invade, they actually do have the resources to make it work.
Dome.
Yeah, absolutely. It's still anyone's game at this point. That first blood going to the Homeboys is not a big deal for RSG because Ilham is starting to get to the point where he can actually go for ganks and maybe rack up some kills.
I think right now Mal should pretty much disrespect Stoa. Oh wait, no, he's level 4. Never mind, take it back.
Yeah.
While he was level 3, he should have absolutely just walked up and man-fought him.
They will zone him out
my
from the
God.
gold lane though, so Bunny has to
Mal
position
is
a bit
getting
more
annoying as ever.
defensively.
Wait, isn't Bunny just like straight up dead here if they just like commit? Oh, no. The
Nah.
wall charge could get him out.
Yeah, they instantly shift their focus to the other side of the map instead, though Maima didn't show in the mid lane, so they're just gonna go back to farming.
Gonna be slow-paced game for now. Minimal interaction between RSG, MY, and as well as the homeboys. Maybe they pass by each other every once in a while in the river.
I think Krish is getting
have
back.
not been looking up. RSG, MY still waiting for the item power spike, so you can tell that Rippo is expecting a dive on his side of the map.
He's already prepared for it. The homeboys are not trying to force anything just yet. Knowing that they don't have nearly as much of a snowball as before, they're gonna take it a little bit more slowly, which is respectful, but the flicker wall charge catches out Izanami in the mid lane. The rest of his team comes to back him up. Izanami gets the shield for RWM. Keeps him alive long enough to trade himself for Ilham.
Maltroid him.
Unlucky, but I think homeboys took more casualties there. Sorry, RSG took more casualties there. Wait, is Storm okay? I mean, he's taking a bit of a beating here by Crush, but now the collapse.
Up 3 members, Diamond Force going to be used. Glorious Pathway blocked off by the wall, but he's still able to walk around it. A lot of resources used by RSG.
Score is about to equalize here, but at least for the side of homeboys.
They lose it. Oh!
Wait, hold on.
Bye-bye in trouble.
Neymar didn't he see? Oh my god. How can he walk like that?
Storm throws him back into Rippo, stunning both right under the turtle. Turtle dropping very low right now. Ilham on top of it, but MPL dashes in and steals it away at the last second. Homeboys comes out on top.
I'm telling you, it's really difficult to out-retry a Suyo here, especially when his Soul Sever deals 20% miss.
Bunny in trouble. He doesn't have Purify, but great flicker timing. Uses the Diamond Force to re-engage, do some poke damage, and get out to safety.
It should be alright here, but Storm, I think he needs to back off. They need to sacrifice this tier 1 play on the opposite side of the map.
Oh my god.
Going to be here, 4 members of Homeboys. Bunny can no longer defend this tower. Will have to give it away to Soul.
They're taking their time with this. I think the homeboys, they've got the same general concept. May not be as snowbally as it was in the previous game, but at the very least now, they're really calculating the risk and reward.
I do like this. This is growth from the homeboys right now. We are seeing them play appropriately with the momentum and placement in their game. Looking at the gold lead, still pretty small actually, so RSG aren't flicker, wall charge a bit slow, but still able to connect. Finds one into the Eternal Guard. Izanami is slain immediately. Crush cannot save him. In fact, Crush himself is in trouble. Glorious Pathway just barely gets him out as the ejector throws Ripple under the tower and gets picked up by Soul.
Fast motions, fast movements from the homeboys. They still hold their structures, but at the very least, they are trading proactively. While this was happening, at least Bunny was able to get a tower on the top side of the map, or should be able to get a tower on the top side. Yep, we recalculated. Nicely done. Showing presence on the map from the side of homeboys gave him the confidence to just keep on pushing.
You gotta find any advantage you can get right now. RSG not actually that behind in the game, but still losing out in terms of overall rotation.
Soul is doing a lot of damage,
bro. A lot of damage from Soul here, though Soul himself maybe walking too far forward. Has to use Purify to not be caught by Rippo.
4 seconds until we see the next turtle spawn here, and the majority of the homeboys are rotating forward to zone them off. And unfortunately for RSGMY, this purple buff is always going to be contested.
Again?
Crush already on top of it while Amal is working on Turtle, though it is taking a while, so I think Ilham probably still got... No, he actually didn't get the purple.
No, it's about to spawn here, but they have a timing on their spawn. So every single time it's about to spawn, you can expect the homeboys to just be sitting there, standing there menacingly.
Benny, careful.
Surprisingly, right now, not doing that. Instead, gonna respawn to the side lanes and make sure that RSG doesn't get any more buildings from split push.
Oh, okay. That's a bit surprising. Definitely thought the homeboys wanted to negate the effectiveness of Ilham here because he's already caught up to Amal. He used to be a level down, and then he actually overtook him for a little bit. Ilham overtook the EXP lead against Amal roughly, I would say, like 5-6 minutes into the game.
Yep, I think you would be correct to assume that. We're almost 8 minutes in. Storm gonna spot it in the river. The flicker ejector onto Maima. Throws him back into the jaws of Amal. Storm uses flicker to get away from the glorious pathway, but he's still very, very low. And Izanami going to whack him to death.
Guys,
they're gonna keep on trying to force this underneath their turret. But on the opposite side of the map, the tier 2s are about to collapse as Nolan has been pushing this entire time. Homeboys finally get a good chunk, but Ilham takes a bit of a nibble before he leaves.
As long as RSG is still able to get some nibbles in return, they are not totally
really want this
losing
victory,
out.
huh?
But Homeboys is slowly getting more and more advantage.
Ilham?
There needs
Oh,
to
he's
be
not
more
doing any
decisive
damage.
victory from RSG.
Oh, Shaun.
They use the conceal, but Glorious Pathway. Oh, Crush actually trapped behind the wall.
Whoa,
so
my
RSG doesn't
guy's
quite have enough
panicking
burst
so
damage,
loud.
and now the real one manipulation comes out. Meanwhile,
But I don't
Amal
think so,
on top
okay.
of Ilham chases him away.
Oh.
Infernal Pursuit being used by
Repo,
Rippo. He
but
finally
yeah, you
finishes
die.
off Crush, but he trades himself for it. Not
Oh
sure if it's
my
worth it as
God.
Storm gets the wall charge,
Oh,
knocks
Bunny's
up two.
doing a lot
Summon
of
Force
damage.
used by Bunny, ejected
But
to stop
stunned
his
by
advance,
Maul.
and Homeboys walk away.
All right.
Oh.
2.7k lead on their side. Crush and Rippo trading 1-for-1. Honestly, it's pretty good for Crush because he's got the level lead onto Rippo as at this point of time. Now, with the Lord spawning, this could be huge for RSG MY if they want to keep this competitive against the Homeboys.
Going for
Can
Lord.
they contest this
Oh
though?
my
They already
God.
used a lot of their resources in the last fight, and
Look how
Homeboys
are
are
they
blitzing it
melting
down.
it.
They know the timing, they know the cooldowns. Free Lord going over to red side.
Nicely done by the Homeboys. RSG
Hey,
MY haven't been making too many proactive plays. They've just been reacting to the Homeboys. And I think right now, what they need to see is an RWM come out from Izanami, maybe an unstoppable force from Mal, because that gives the green light for Stoa to look for the play.
Whoa,
Charge
Storm missed.
just whiffs completely. Mal gonna
Oh, did they
feel
know
pretty good
Ilham
about
is
that
there?
one.
Oh.
As Ilham tries to see if he
Doesn't
can
have
burst
enough
someone
damage.
down, but he's already behind.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, they're going to get zoned off. I mean, Crush is going to get zoned off here. But RSG, I don't think they're getting
Internet,
stat
please, Internet. Oh my God.
checked just yet. I think their power spike is
Please.
almost there, and maybe they can hold off
Let me change it, guys.
against the Homeboys for now. But
I don't want to miss anything important right now. Come on. Fast. Please. Don't do this to me.
now that Lord is pushing in, if they lose out an inhibitor, I think Homeboys have set themselves up for victory.
A lot of pressure going to be on Bunny right now. He hasn't died yet, so his farm should still be alright, albeit definitely behind Soul. If RSG can buy enough space in their base defense for him to do some damage, then
Oh
they
my
can
God,
maybe
can
still
they
hold off
defend
the
this
Homeboys
really?
for a little longer.
I think the Lord is
That's
not
hard to say.
that strong.
Yeah, I can't even say for certain that could that will
Probably
happen.
they can
But
defend for
let's
sure.
start first with this Lord push. Conceal.
Yeah, bottom inhib, conceal use, Glorious Pathway,
Nice
will manipulation. Gonna be used. All
Yeah,
the
man.
zone out RSG from
And
the
yeah,
bot
they
inhib.
succeed,
Homeboys
like,
get it
at least
very
they got
easily.
the
And we'll just
one
disengage.
They
inhibitor.
might be looking for one more here, but all the magic barriers have collapsed on every single one of these lanes. Homeboys just looking to try and set up a checkmate angle. They don't have the gold for it, but they're halfway there. There's still a missing inhibitor on RSG MY side. Unfortunately, it's on the short side of the lane because Lord is spawning up bot side.
Oh my
Things
God.
are looking pretty dire now for RSG. Their draft is not the
It's bad
best
for
in
them,
terms
guys.
of late game scaling either. Soul just performs better
Like,
at
they
that
are
stage,
last,
so mid game is
if
where
I'm
they
not
really
wrong.
wanted to gain an advantage, and right now Homeboys are the
They are
ones in the
last.
lead.
So losing this time
They
too, it
continue
will
to
be
just
bad for
freeze
them.
out these waves, waiting for RSG MY to walk up further than they should, to maybe look for a punish. Because I don't think RSG MY want to give any free kills over.
They really cannot afford to. We have to remember, 1 point from RSG. They need at least one win to keep their hopes of staying to the next season of MPL MY alive. And Homeboys right now aiming to take that hope away.
Oh my God.
Could they? How would they turn this around? I'm thinking of some items. Oh wait, hold on. Rippo is going for an interesting sustain build here. He's going into the pure fighter. He's not taking full advantage of Thunderbelt actually scaling off of MR and as well as armor. Kind of interesting why he wanted this. He already has Festival of Blood.
Mal jumps in with Ejector, forces Wild Charge defensively out of Stone. Another key cooldown not available for RSG.
Oh my
Still
God.
juggling around though, but Ilham can get this.
Timing was not bad actually, but Amal being a little cleaner with that.
Both unable to get the retrees off in
Free
that
Lord
time. This is going
again.
to be a quick rush down for the Homeboys here as Crush maintains that front.
Crush really doing a good job this game of
Yeah.
solo holding back RSG MY. Wasn't too sure if the Hylos EXP would work too well considering Phoveus does win the 1v1, but Crush proving himself more valuable.
Oh
If
my
Crush is going
god.
to continue showing his value, needs to start slowing down his targets. So far, Maima only caught 3 times this game, and that's when you see RSG and MY really struggle when they don't have their anchor to fall
Look
back
at
to. In terms of
Izanami.
damage, Izanami still on top with Maima
Izanami's
catching up
damage,
quickly, but
guys.
doesn't have
Oh
the
my
items to
god.
compensate for the last 5,000 damage behind Izanami.
No one can come up to him, so...
But with now a Luminous Lord, this could be it. I don't think it's a checkmate angle. I think it's very defendable by RSG MY, but they need to bait out the RWM.
They need
At least
clean
they will
play.
get
They
the 2
gotta
inhibitors
time
left.
it. Because
Probably.
if Homeboys have all of their resources when the Lord is on top of the crystal, RSG, their legacy could end here.
They dance around for a little bit. We're expecting the engage to come on through, but first, Guardian's Barrier from Stoem.
Oh my
Not gonna get
god.
thrown out just yet.
Sound getting a
Homeboys still
lot of
focusing on the
damage.
rest of the inhibitors. Glorious pathway to cut
Yeah,
off
they
RSG
got
while
one.
they deal
The
with the
mid
Lord on their
inhibitor.
crystal. Mid inhibitor is already
Oh,
gone.
that was
Val
close,
jumps in,
man.
not able to find the throw though. But Soul
Oh,
doing so much damage.
nice.
Izanami finishes off
Izanami.
Soul. Real Ventilation
Oh,
already used.
Rippo
His aim
dead.
secures a killing spree onto Rippo.
Crush
still alive
dead.
after everything. Zaman Force used. Buddy
Oh
finally
my
takes him
god.
out. But the crystal
Can
is
they end?
exposed and the
Oh,
Homeboys are
victory
not
moment.
gonna let this chance go. The
No
legacy
way.
of RSGMY ended at the hands of their
my god.
long-time rivals.
A painful loss
Oh
for the
my
Homeboy. A painful loss for RSG. A well-needed victory for the Homeboys and a 2-0 in a matter of fact. A 2-0. Those 3 points are going to be so precious to them as they try and look to secure a spot for themselves.
Up a huge momentum that will give them better seeding. Let's go ahead and let LaFell take over with his interview on stage.
Terima kasih banyak kepada semua caster. Tapi sekarang kita nak berbual dulu dengan RSGMY. Tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, perlawanan ini adalah perlawanan yang sangat penting. Di mana secara tak langsung ini adalah elimination match. Di mana RSG mereka ada dekat sini sejak MPL Malaysia musim ke-7. Tetapi dengan outcome pertarungan ini, mereka telah tersingkir di mana musim hadapan mereka tak ada dekat MPL. Jadi dekat sini, Maima, Mike ada dengan awak. Fans RSGMY datang sokong. Fans Homeboys datang untuk saksikan perlawanan ini. Boleh bagi kata-kata terakhir sebagai wakil RSGMY.
Assalamualaikum
Oh my God.
and alhamdulillah kita dapat berkumpul sama-sama pada hari ini. And saya nak first of all ucapkan terima kasih kepada semua yang datang, fans SRG and fans Homeboys yang memeriahkan Stadium MBSJ pada hari ini. And saya sebagai seorang player yang baru satu season kat RSG, saya memang nak minta maaf dekat fan RSG. Maybe saya sendiri yang mungkin masih tidak mampu untuk membawa RSG pergi ke arah yang lebih jauh, and maybe banyak lagi yang benda saya boleh improve untuk diri saya dan juga rakan-rakan. And sekali lagi saya memang minta maaf kerana saya tak dapat bawa RSG lebih tinggi pada season ini.
Maima, not your fault, man. Not your fault. Again, respect to you guys. Good luck on your next adventures. But for now, give the final bow in 3, 2, 1. Bow.
Yeah.
RSGMY! And now let's invite Homeboys!
Let's go.
Mal, sini dulu. Okay, ni Mike. First of all, Mal, personal question untuk awak. Nayudil. Nayudil. Give it up for Udil! Mal, personal question saya nak tanya depan semua orang dekat sini.
The Jawhead was
Macam mana
annoying, dude.
persahabatan awak dengan Rippo sebenarnya? Relationship awak dengan Rippo, okey ke?
Biasa-biasa je.
Biasa-biasa je. Adakah itu sebab kenapa dalam game pertama Rippo pakai Bane, dia dah boleh mati dah tu dengan Imal? Pasal awak pergi campak Imal kat belakang.
Dia dah bayar duit tepi.
Oh, dah bayar duit tepi, faham. Nampak gayanya bayaran tu tak cukup lah. Jadi kat sini, Imal, jujur soalan saya dekat sini. ini adalah perlawanan yang sangat penting untuk kedua-dua pasukan. Di mana menang perlawanan ini bermaksud selamat dekat dalam MPL. Kita boleh nampak pressure yang sangat tinggi sehingga RSG pun tersalah pick hero. Boleh tak sebagai player yang bermain dekat atas pentas, cerita sedikit pressure yang Homeboy sendiri lalui? Sama ada dari fans, management, coach dan diri sendiri sebagai player.
Kalau pressure tu of course lah. Lagi-lagi bermain untuk pasukan Homeboys memang pressure lah. Nak ganti player-player yang sebelum ni kan. Diorang punya fans banyak. So memang pressure lah nak gantikan slot diorang. Tapi kita orang just support yang terbaik lah.
Dan disebabkan terbaik itu masih kekalkan slot. Berikan tepukan guys. Emma, kita akan tanya pada Emma. Jadi Emma, sememangnya saya rasa behind the scene Homeboys dah ada banyak perbincangan sesama sendiri. Apakah yang korang akan buat selepas ni? Jadi boleh tak bagi tahu kita sikit apakah plan untuk Homeboys selepas ni?
Plan tak boleh betul lagi lah, tapi akan ada macam ada tapi Homeboys akan strong lah.
Jangan takut, lepaskan je.
Tak boleh betul, yang penting Homeboys akan strong lah next season.
Homeboys akan strong next season. Okay.
Akan bangkit lah.
Alright, terima kasih. And now, saya akan gunakan kuasa saya dekat atas ni to call my boy, Iznami. Iznami, sini jap. Iznami, it's okay, apa-apa jadi season ni, you still my boy. Alright?
Thank you.
Jadi, ini bukan ucapan terakhir, tapi just nak cakap, ramai orang datang, nampak dorang-dorang kat sini. Dorang semua sokong Homeboys. Salah, ni RSG. Yang ni sokong Homeboys. Salah. Tengok belah sini, adakah dorang datang sini memberikan korang kekuatan untuk kalahkan RSG?
Ya, betul lah. Sebab tanpa dorang ni kami...
Betul.
Thank you sebab datang.
Saya pun rasa tanpa dorang, korang nothing. Tapi sekarang, kita akan tengok siapakah MVP untuk perlawanan ni. Rasanya siapakah MVP?
Oh my god.
Jujur cakap saya pekak, saya tak tahu. Jadi mari kita tengok. The MVP of the match jatuh kepada
Izanami. Oh my god.
Aku dah tanya kau soalan jadi aku tak tahu nak tanya apa lagi. Kau nak tanya aku soalan apa ke? Udil will come. Jadi dekat sini of course Izanami.
My God,
I
look
tahu yang you
nervous.
sendiri tak puas hati dengan you punya own prestasi pada season ni. Jadi untuk you personally sebagai player, apakah perubahan yang you harap akan terjadi pada musim akan datang?
Saya harap di season yang seterusnya ni kami ada masa yang banyak lah untuk training sebab season ni kami masa kami training ni agak singkat dan kami pun banyak tukar-tukar line up kan. So next season kami akan buat yang terbaik lah. And dengan yang last, thank you kepada Flame Boys, kepada fans-fans yang datang. Tidak lupa juga kepada fans RSG yang pernah support saya sebelum ni. Thank you so much.
Nak nangis ke? Jangan nangis. Kita nak end sekarang ke nak panggil Udil? End sekarang? Alright, terima kasih kepada semua yang datang. Let's invite Udil! Udil mana Udil? Give it up for Udil! Sini ni. Udil.
Astagfirullahalazim.
Assalamualaikum Udil.
Waalaikumsalam bang.
Macam mana kesihatan Udil sekarang?
Alhamdulillah baik.
Alhamdulillah baik. Season ni memang kita boleh nampak rough season untuk Homeboys.
Ya.
Tetapi kalau kita tengok fan sign semua dekat sini, semua cakap stay true.
Yoi.
Apa-apa pun stay true kepada Homeboys. Jadi ini adalah kali terakhir korang dekat atas pentas. Ada tak kata-kata terakhir daripada Udil sendiri kepada semua orang satu dunia ni?
Kau ni lebay lah.
Ya, aku ni memang lebih sikit tapi it's okay.
So ini kena speech ke?
Iya, speech. Nak skrip ke?
Semestinya yang speech di sini tu it's either AB atau coaching management sebab dorang yang memang going through this season macam senang susahnya So di sini pun aku tanah jadi delar, tanah jadi gojes, tanah jadi sepat. bukan cuman aku tanah jadi sepat, melainkan SRG menang terus, Famos menang terus. Lepas itu last time delar di EVOS menang terus, sedangkan Homeboys sekarang kalah terus. So I know guys, it's been tragedy for us mungkin bisa dibilang. Tapi mari kita coba balance tragedi ini dengan komedi dan juga cinta. Aku tak nak nangis dah.
Jangan nangis, tisu saya dekat toilet.
Okay. Mungkin ini bakal jadi waktu yang sulit untuk kita karena tak lolos playoff, terlebih lagi playoff Kat Johor segala macam, dan itu merupakan salah satu impian Dedi juga untuk main di sana. So Dedi, kami nak cakap sorry sebab memberikan hasil yang tidak memuaskan. Dan aku pun yakin orang-orang di sini mereka semua sudah di their best. So kalau misalkan korang rasa player-player Homeboys ini macam bad sangat punya gameplay, bukan cuma kalian guys yang merasa seperti itu, melainkan aku pun rasa macam itu karena aku nonton di belakang stage, macam aku ingin bagi phone dekatku je, kenapa kau main bodoh, gitu lah, kurang lebih macam tu lah. Aku paham apa yang korang rasakan, cuman once again I would like to say they did their best already guys. So tanah blame dorang, melainkan bagi terus support dekat dorang. Sebab ini bukan first time Homeboys macam ni. Season 7, Season 8, Season 9, dorang pun sama. Ada dari bawah dahulu. So ini adalah masa untuk Flame Boys bagi support dekat player Homeboys yang baru. Memanglah player Homeboys yang lama sudah tinggalkan kami. Cuman life goes on guys. Orang-orang datang dan juga pergi. So kita kena move on dengan masa. Dan ini pun aku wakilkan untuk cakap. Maksudnya aku wakilkan pesan-pesan dorang dan aku yakin dorang pun rasakan hal yang sama dengan aku rasakan. It's always been an honor untuk bermain di depan para fans terbaik. Ini sebuah kehormatan, sebuah kebanggaan untuk selalu bermain di depan Flame Boys. Korang adalah fans terbaik di Malaysia, bahkan fans terbaik di dunia juga.
There you go. Cakap tak nak bagi speech, pasal panjang pula speech dia. Terima kasih banyak Udin.
Biasalah emang PR ku mantap gila babi.
Tak apa, saya pegang phone pun macam tu. Guys, give it up for Homeboys! Thank you very much. You guys may leave the stage. Yang depan ni. Islami memang tak ada jam Tahu nanti aku belikan jam. It's okay. Dia perlukan masa. Baiklah, dengan ini kita akan tengok ranking buat masa kini. Bila saya cakap ranking, maksud saya rating. Jujur saya pun tak tahu apa rating tu apa. Rating apa lah? Well, kita akan nampak on stage. Tapi, dengan tu, I hope you guys enjoy yourself. Tapi sekarang, kita akan dengar rating ke mic check? Mic check kot? Mic check.
Mic check.
Wait, on the way.
Hello sih. Dia ada guna.
What spell you use? Flicker.
Hello.
Nice.
Careful adik, careful.
Kiting. See me guys, can see me?
I feel the first game.
Nice. Careful, no. Just cut.
Careful lah.
Nice
Wow.
Ready turtle.
Yeah, I think can.
Okay.
Tengok mal guys, tengok mal.
I cancel it.
No ulti guys.
Ito.
Ito, sini.
Oh my god.
Ada. We can.
Nice one.
Boss.
And double.
Double.
Nice one, guys.
Reset.
Reset. Lagi satu game, guys.
Going bot. We can go again. Besar. Pok. Just. Careful mal.
Dead. Nice one.
Grok.
Oh my god.
Pok.
I'm FHP, guys.
Just pok.
15 seconds, guys. 15 seconds.
Roll tick.
Nalti gok.
Nice one, Emma.
Grok no flicker. Grok no ulti. Hero, can tower lock?
Can get tower lock. Nice one, guys.
Can he go? Nice one, guys.
Ooh, some wise words coming in from Spicy Boy himself from the Homeboys as they take this game 2-0 against RSG, putting RSG out of the MPL for certain.
This match was a clash between two legacies here in MPL Malaysia and also represented the end of two journeys, as RSG will now have to face relegation to the MAL, and the Homeboys, while they are able to celebrate their victory, we will not get to see them playing on the stage in Johor.
It's bittersweet to see our big well, I can't even say franchise team because that term is already taken, but I can say that at least for these teams, they're going to go back into the rebuilding phase, and unfortunately today, Homeboys is just a little bit ahead of the game when it comes to rebuilding their squads.
Yeah, Homeboys were looking a lot more put together overall, whereas RSG, you could tell that their momentum was already halted at the very beginning of the match. But we still gotta hand it over to our MVP, Izanami, having Eve in both games and doing a great job of just controlling the team fights.
Just doing some really good stuff here. Game 1, Snowball, Demon Shoes. Game 2, he realized we're not getting as much of a Snowball. I'm gonna go with the regular boots, man. I gotta make sure that I live if I get doved upon.
And going for the Blood Wings first before the Wishing Lantern to keep his survivability high. This is the more default Eve build because he's not leading as heavily as in game number 1. And you can tell it was very difficult for RSG to actually fight into them because he was doing a great job at holding this for the perfect timing.
Exactly. I think that his usage of the RWM is still crispy, still tip-top for the majority of the fights. I just think that right now, Homeboys, they're going to be working on making sure that the cohesion is correct. There were times that the RWM was targeting a, well, not so high priority target, but that's what the team was calling for, so you might as well.
It's a rebuilding phase for both teams. It's unfortunate that it had to happen right before M6, but it just means that they have more of the future to look towards and to maybe build up a brand new legacy to look forward to. As for RSG, they tried. There was an attempt here. I think Storm resetting the buff initially to slow down AML's farm in comparison helped a lot, but it still wasn't enough.
Minutes, 6 seconds.
Yeah, as much as we wanted to see like the Ultra Snowball turn into an avalanche for the side of the Homeboys, RSG had some pretty good ideas, and I gotta give it to Storm. He's got some great in-depth knowledge about how to be able to position the Nature's Barrier in terms of resetting it entirely, depending on the position of where Mal pulled it. Because technically, Mal could have been sitting in the bush. Sure, he could have done an open leash and pulled it even further to his side of the map. Even then, there are angles for that Nature's Barrier to reset it.
Yeah, the early game was not bad from RSG, but you could see that the same issues that plagued them throughout the season still exist. The fact that they're not really playing like a coordinated team, that there isn't a true game plan happening, and they're just reacting to the opponent and hoping for mistakes they can capitalize on. That's not going to be enough in a place like MPL.
I mean, it's tough, but the competition is just getting steeper and steeper with everybody leveling up. Unfortunately, some teams are going to get left behind, and I think that's just the bottom line of it. 14 minutes and 6 seconds was the total game time, game duration for this match between RSG and as well as the Homeboys, and it's hard to say that they weren't dominating despite having a slower early game.
Game 1 is just a bit of an outlier where it went way too far in one direction. The Homeboys were in control. You could tell the plan was in motion. There were definitely still mistakes, but looking a lot cleaner than earlier in the season. And just kind of sad that we won't get to see their continued growth in the playoffs.
Well, I'm sure we'll see Maima lingering around. Same goes for Rippo too. I'm pretty sure that even once the new season and teams start to rebuild or look for players, I'm sure these are going to be some candidates.
Yep. Homeboys as well. Are we going to see the same lineup going into the next season or not? Unfortunately, no chance for them to prove their stuff at the playoffs. So we're just going to have to hold our breath and wait and see.
Let's have a look at the damage dealt and make a couple of comparisons here. How much damage was RSG able to actually pump out? And honestly, pretty decent damage, despite it being 4 to 10, 127,000 compared to 127,000 of their own. Main difference only being 700 damage.
Crush definitely making the difference here. I want to see how much damage he was taking because both teams did almost as much damage as one another, only about a 800 damage difference. That is peanuts. But Crush was the one tanking almost all of it. Even when he was isolated by himself, 1v4, he was just tanking damage from RSG. They couldn't break through him. And then when you add on Mal and Izanami disrupting their lines, RSG was in a tough spot.
In a very tough spot.
Imagine Ilham
I mean, if we
has
start
less,
comparing the,
less damage than
numbers,
Crush.
honestly, Izanami did a lot in this game, right? Because Bunny is dealing like, what, 7,000 more damage than Soul. We're even seeing like a 2,000 difference between Ilham and as well as Amal as well. So it just goes to show that Izanami definitely deserving the MVP in this match. You may not see it, but his damage really applies to the whole team of RSG.
All right, there we go. Crush taking 122,000 damage on this high-lows and didn't really die much either. He was doing a lot of footwork for RSG because when Rippo was trying to jump in and be the backline disruptor, the rest of his team couldn't follow up because there's just this horse standing in the way and they can't get through him.
Yep, and he just locks you down, man. It's tough. It's such a tough game for RSG here. I think they needed some time to scale, but unfortunately, once they started giving up structures, I think that RSG just failed to identify, hey, we need to play vertically, we need to start playing on the opposite side of maps. If somebody is about to get dove, just give up that lane, we'll play on the opposite side to maybe get some structural damage back.
Yeah, I do like that RSG was trying to go for some macro because that is forward thinking, but Homeboys were one step ahead again. And they knew that RSG couldn't fight them, and they knew that RSG knew that, so they could just run at them every single time. If they're split pushing the other side of the map, Homeboys make sure to get them more wherever they are.
Make it tough, right? Always be chasing their tail codes. Never make them feel comfortable. Rich Guy going over to Amal, no surprises there with 827
Oh my god,
GPM.
Homeboy took everything.
The carry going over to Izanami, 49,000 damage. Honestly, pretty close. I might as well round it up to 50. Sandbag and Best Wingman both going to Crush.
Crush really crushing it, coming all the way here. Again, very new player here, only joining Homeboys halfway through the season. And yet you can see that he breathes a new sense of life into this team. They're much more coordinated, a lot more aggressive, not quite as heavily reliant on that momentum. And that is great. I'm looking forward to his continued growth and to see more of him in MPL.
I do want to see how deep his hero pool actually is, though. I want to see him, you know, we've seen him on sandbags. I want to see him more on these big playmakers. I want to see him pick up Arlet more. I want to see him pick up Khalid as well, both of which could be really, really cool to watch. But let's go over back to our MVP, Izanami, right? When we're looking at the way that he is finding kills across the map, majority of the time, it's going to come through that mid lane. But as you can see based on this KDA map, he's finding these kills in enemy jungle territory. This just goes to show between 1 minute and 14, as soon as that mid-tier 1 falls, is when you see Izanami really be a part of every situation.
And you have to remember, Izanami was actually sent home very, very early on in his lane. He was poked down to like 10% HP, had the recall, but then a timely gank from the rest of the squad to pick off Maima immediately gave him back mid lane priority and allowed him to roll more to invade and cause chaos with his teammates.
And that's when you see them really start to break through. He gets his first item, they get that first initial break, and then they start running rampantly towards their opponents here. But generally, in terms of items, nothing too out of the ordinary.
We already pointed out earlier, Izanami going back to the normal Eve build of Glowing Wand into Blood Wings instead of the Wishing Lantern to keep himself more survivable. Despite the pressure, Ilham was actually matching Amal somewhat well in farm. They got the Hunter Strike and BOD around the same time. I think the goal lane was also doing pretty alright, though Bunny was a lot more delayed in his Holy Crystal in comparison, because once you got into the mid-game phase, things were tough.
Yeah, things were pretty difficult, pretty annoying, especially when you drop down the Zaman Force. As soon as you press Zaman Force, the RWM suddenly appears around you, and you're like, ah, man.
That's why the first pick Harif is risky, right? You're gonna have your eye on heroes like the Mincetar or the Gatot, for example, but even things like Eve or High-Lows can very easily deny you access to Zaman Force. So I'm not a big fan of revealing him so early, despite his strength.
And I still think that the counterpick in Lunox always needs to be considered here. Every single team so far has either denied it or opted not to take it. And majority of the time, usually the Harith wins out in these types of matchups. I will say that Bunny will need to work a little on his laning phase. I definitely think he had an advantage against Soul here. The only way he loses the Soul in lane is if he chrono dashes into the light.
SRJ out.
The lead
Team
that the
Hawk
rest of his
out.
team got expanded into his lane, and from then on,
Boys
you can
up.
see him lose control somewhat. But the standings here not going to be affected that much, since we already know that the top 6 teams are going to be
down.
moving on into the playoffs. The homeboys just get to sit a little bit more comfortably in 7th place.
They're trying to get as many points as possible here, and I mean, unless JP9ers really drop the ball, which I don't think they will, I think that homeboys at least don't have to worry about relegation.
This is quite unfortunate to have to see. That was the last game from RSGMY as well. So with Team Ray and Team Huck both having 1 match remaining in the regular season, it is basically confirmed that RSGMY will be dropping down to MAL.
Oh man, even the aggregate points are not in their favor. Huck with just a couple of wins and even getting into O's of their own. They've got a chance here. They've got a chance against Young and Dangerous, but man, it's sad to see that it's come to this state.
Yep. This is not a position anyone wants to be in, but the spots exist and someone has to fill them. That's why you always have to make sure you are at your top performance. The competition is heating up more and more as many MPL teams are preparing for M6 right around the corner. This is not a season you can afford to let your guard down.
Yeah, especially since M6 is happening in Malaysia as well. That's why you're seeing that the top teams, especially teams who have stuck together around the time of EWC, generally want to stay together for M6. We might see some shakeups after M6 to prepare for the upcoming MSC, EWC x MSC once more happening in the middle of the year, but rebuilding takes a while. Rebuilding takes a long while.
It's just really something to look at these standings. Homeboys, Team Hack, RSG, all former champions.
Oh, I feel sleepy,
all at
guys.
the bottom
Get to the
of
game,
the charts.
guys.
How the
Get to the
times have
game.
changed.
They changed too much. They changed too much. Not in so much so that it makes me uncomfortable. To be fair, I will give the benefit of the doubt of 2 homeboys. Now that the recent Team Vamos is doing well, that technically should have been their spot if they just stuck around with the organization, right? A lot of things could have been changed, but as of now, I think we need to leave it be. Rebuilding is going to be the primary focus, and more importantly, so adding that level of polish, which we're not seeing a lot of the current teams have. Maybe Torak is getting a little bit of that polish because now they're just sticking with Squad C at this point and not playing it, running anybody else.
If we're talking about the teams that could use just a little bit more polish to get to the top tiers, our next match involves some of them in particular. Our final match of the day going to be between Monster, Vicious, and JP9ers. Both of which already confirmed to be going to Johor, but they're going to be playing for seeding.
Now, guys, keep in mind, you can get ready for an unforgettable experience at the MPL MY Season 14 X Southern Festival. Join us at the ADUCD Indoor Arena in Johor Bahru from October 31st to November 3rd, 2020. Okay, gotta put the year in there. Immerse yourself in a variety of exciting activities, including exclusive debut performances of the new MPL MY song by Zone and Amir Masdi. Explore our vibrant sponsors and team booths featuring an array of merchandise from your favorite teams as well as booths from Hotlink, JD Esports, ROG, TNC Co. Indulge your taste buds at our food festival in collaboration with the I thought it was dyslexic. It's Foodalicious Festival, where delicious flavors await. Join us for a thrilling watch party and capture the moment at our dedicated photo opportunity era.
You can do it.
Don't miss out on this incredible experience. Mark your calendars for MPL MY Season 14 Southern Festival, proudly brought to you by Motown KPRJ. See you there. Man, they really got to shorten these scripts, but there is a lot of things happening for our grand final, so please come on down to Johor, especially the locals there in Johor for MPL Singapore. I mean, you're 1 bridge away. Might as well cross the straits to check it out.
You know, you could always just split the script in half with me, you know.
Now, I mean, we could do that, but it's way funnier just to stick it to production that this script is unnecessarily long.
You know what? I can get behind that. A little bit of protest on the desk.
We're holding it back up. One last match to conclude today on the final week of the regular season of MPL MY. We'll see you right after this break.
Come, boys. How long is the break we take? I feel tired as well.
Tak kisah jago sukan apa jua, jagokan lagi dengan rangkaian imaji termantap dan terpelik.
Oh, 13 minutes. Bro,
Gaming
that's a lot.
semata sekilan.
Maybe I should play a game.
Tukar ke Holling Prepaid 5G sekarang.
Let me play a game probably. What is my phone? I need to do this a little bit, guys. Sorry, guys. Now I think we can do it.
Tangan aku kenapa ni? Aduh, limumu lagi gatal sangat. Gunalah Head and Shoulders. 100% keyakinan, kelumamu dan kegatalan.
Wiped out. Unstoppable.
Marksman. Oh my god. Guys, I think I did a mistake. Why did I put the... All this time, the sound was playing. I hope it didn't destroy the gameplay, bro.
Panas. Itulah, panas gila.
Oh my god, bro.
Kau tak dengar ke Kak Gura selalu cakap, sediakan hujan sebelum payung untuk M6.
Cik Noh, sediakan payung sebelum hujan.
Oh, iya ke?
Oh my god, this guy.
Apa kena dengan M6?
Fucking stupid. I hate these people, bro.
Apa itu
Fuck you.
hujan emas?
Yeah.
Hujan emas adalah satu matlamat, satu impian terunggul untuk setiap pasukan. Setiap musim, apakah kenangan yang istimewa? Ia adalah ketika juara menjulang piala di bawah hujan emas. Ia juga menjulang dan membanggakan nama Malaysia di persada dunia. Seperti
Nice
cuaca,
flash.
musim baru datang dan pergi. Ia persis dengan MPL MY. Setiap pasukan dan pemain yang pernah menjejak kaki di MPL MY, mereka tidak pernah berputus asa. Setiap musim ada permulaannya. Juga permulaan baru untuk matlamat dan impian bagi pemain kita. Musim cuaca datang dan pergi, tapi ia tidak akan mengubah sejarah pemain kita. Dengan harapan musim hadapan yang cerah adalah satu pemangkin semangat bagi pasukan yang bertarung. Komposisi musim lalu tidak penting. Yang penting adalah kesetiaan kepada permainan. Tiada guna mengerti hujan emas dan berjuang demi Malaysia kalau kita tidak dapat merealisasikannya di M6.
I think I may need defense. I didn't know that you can be stunned while doing the second. You will die, garbage. Oh my god.
Masih lagi bersama saya Sid dan juga pelakon-pelakon untuk movie MLBB di mana kita ada Zik, kita ada Ikmambi dan juga kecil saudara Fauzi Nawawi. Memang dah terkenal, dah lama dah berlakon dekat industri Malaysia ni. First of all, apa khabar?
I don't think so. I could catch him for sure.
Ini saya percaya ini merupakan kali pertama anda semua berada dekat pentas MLBB ataupun Liga MLBB. Apa perasaan? Kita mulakan dengan Zik dulu.
Sangat teruja. Ini first time tengok face to face game yang sangat best pula tu.
Perasaan macam nervous bila tengok ramai orang macam kita tengok game bola, macam tak sangka MLBB sebesar ini, so macam proud lah to be
Aldous is so mad right now.
Dalam e-sport ni makin maju dah 2024 ni. Yang paling penting
Okay.
tu wujud pada hari ni. So tak rugi kita orang datang lah.
Boleh jangka tak yang sebenarnya nanti satu hari nanti, which is hari ni, game ataupun e-sport boleh jadi sebesar ni sampai dah ada movie?
Sebenarnya bila awal-awal Mobile Legends Bang Bang ni berada di Malaysia,
Come on, take the gold, bro.
Bahawa penerimaan masyarakat khususnya peringkat remaja ni boleh sampai ke tahap ni.
I don't see Odora. Okay.
Sikit
Over there.
Saya tak heran 2025 yang akan datang population Mobile Legends ni akan jadi lebih besar.
Kita tahu anda bertiga
Let me push mid.
sekarang ini terlibat dengan penggambaran untuk movie terbaru khas untuk MLBB. Boleh tak cerita sedikit sebanyak pengalaman untuk shoot movie tersebut?
Pengalaman dia best, sangat unik sebab saya rasa for Malaysia ini movie MLBB yang pertama kan. So untuk kita orang pun dapat duduk
I have nobody jump on me.
It's an amazing experience lah for us.
Pengalaman sangat best lah sebab berlakon dengan kawan-kawan dalam industri, and then ini macam impian
Oh my
saya
god.
menjadi seorang pro player.
His second skill is not long as a longest stint. Oh.
Ya, itu semestinya apa yang kita
I need to kill this carry now, bro.
Kita masih lagi bercakap tentang movie. Boleh tak cerita sedikit sebanyak watak ataupun karakter yang anda bertiga dan mungkin Puan Lisnawati juga bagi tahu apa yang
Oh my god. How can they miss everything?
So kita orang sama team.
Dead right now.
Seorang daripada pro player daripada Singapore.
Yes sir.
So saya tak nak cakap banyak tentang watak saya bawa watak yang jahat. Sangat-sangat
paling jahat lah. Orang akan menyampah lah tengok dia sebab saya sendiri pun menyampah tengok dia masa syuting.
Oh my god, can I get the maniac? He's going to run.
Kepada watak hero dalam
For sure.
Dia sebenarnya ada true story yang telah di-plan untuk jadi lebih menarik untuk tayangan filem Mobile Legends.
Alright, jadi anda semua dah dengar
Okay,
daripada
let's see.
pelakon-pelakon sendiri. Terima kasih ucapkan kepada Zik, Ikma dan juga Fazinawi bersama dengan isi Puan Lisdawati. Jadi stay tune, keep in touch
Let me
dengan
buy
kita
this.
orang punya
After
social
that,
media
I
untuk
will buy the
saksikan movie
Winter
terbaru
Crown.
untuk MLBB. Nak tahu dengan lebih lanjut, stay tune dekat kita punya social media. Bye-bye. Alright, Assalamualaikum, anda bersama saya Sid dan sekarang ni kita ada tetamu istimewa iaitu pelakon terkenal daripada Pascal iaitu saudara Hairul Azrin. Apa khabar Hairul?
Alhamdulillah sihat bro.
So,
This video is actually fun, bro.
ataupun ada drama ke upcoming?
Sekarang saya dah tak berlakon. So saya sekarang tengah cari tim lah untuk nak main ML.
Faham. Okey, alright. Bercakap tentang cari tim. Saya dah tengok awak pun ada
Maybe I should buy fleeting time just so I can abuse it.
pakai Nana bro.
Ni banyak baca komen Tak lah sebab saya tahu pakai tank, saya tahu pakai mage je. Yang lain saya tak tahu. So kalau tanya saya, Nana paling senang nak.
Oh my
lah.
god,
Sebab
he
sebelum ni
really
saya biasa
doing
pakai
that.
Cyclops, lepas tu Zaz. Tapi sekarang Nana macam dia kena dengan jiwa lah. Sebab sekarang sebagai itu saya, kalau nak jadi jungler yang terbaik, kena training pen Nana.
Bro, Silvana is fun actually.
Permulaan Nana barulah boleh jadi macam Sky. Okey, tadi dah kita tengok pasukan Selangor Radji dapatkan kemenangan 2-0. Bagi pendapat Hairul sendiri, adakah itu satu perlawanan yang sengit ataupun Hairul memang dah jangka Selangor memang boleh menang 2-0?
Saya tengoklah SRG punya game sebab saya tak pandai sangat tapi saya tengok daripada apa yang diorang main tadi. So memang diorang ada je cara ataupun ada je teknik yang nak masukkan kalau kata sesuatu problem tu. So untuk tengok first game tu juga
Oh my god, this scary.
tak boleh nafikan SRG antara tim yang sangat kuat lah di Malaysia sekarang.
Ya, kita pun memang dah boleh nampak
Oh, let me
kita pun
buy
dah
this.
menang untuk kejuaraan dunia pada tempoh hari. Alright, tadi Hairul Azim pun ini kali pertama datang dekat venue MPL.
Saya first time sebab saya tak pernah sangka macam tengok perlawanan bola sepak di final tau. Ini bukan final kan?
Ini bukan final.
Bukan final tapi dah macam final tadi. Dia ada tukang sorak daripada tim SRG. So best lah, best.
Best lah, memang ini vibe. Benda ni dah berlaku dah few season dan kita boleh nampak lepas kemenangan Selangor Radji dekat tempoh hari tambah lagi vibe tersebut. Right, sebelum saya nak lepaskan Hairul, mungkin ada kata-kata terakhir ataupun kata-kata semangat kepada pasukan Selangor Radji sebab kita ada beberapa minggu sebelum kita pergi ke peringkat play-off.
Betul. Okey, untuk tim SRG kat dalam tu semua
Oh my god,
yang
that was
saya kenal dan
stupid,
orang kenal
bro.
saya. So saya nak wish korang good luck. Dan untuk Mobile Legend ataupun Montun, saya rasa sekarang ni artis ramai main Mobile Legend. So mungkin
Oh
kita
my
boleh
God.
buat satu tournament ke. Come on lah Montun. Sebab kita ada ramai. Fat, Aceh, Challenge Zero, Fazina Wawi, ya Ikmal, semua boleh main Mobile Legend. So kita boleh fight lah. Saya rasa untuk nak lawan tim pro player tak susah pun untuk kami. Tapi diorang tak boleh
Kerry is taunting him so bad.
Boleh berlakon, korang boleh main game. Alright, thank you so much Hairul. InsyaAllah kita akan jumpa lagi dekat play-off.
InsyaAllah.
Okay, alright. Alright, thank you so much. Jadi apa-apa, stay tune dengan MPL Malaysia.
Well played. Did he start?
Okay, so kita orang dari Todak, kita orang
I
hari ni
see.
akan main first hero challenge. So challenge ni, diorang dua akan lawan siapa yang cakap hero paling banyak lah. So yang tak tahu tu akan
Eight.
kalah. Okay, so kita akan start.
Arlot, San.
Oh, it didn't start.
Barat, Dana, Carmilla, Gazura,
Need-
Yin, Rock.
Need more 16 more minutes. Come on, best one.
Sabar.
Dude, come on, bro.
Idora. Aku dah sebut. Lilia,
Okay, selamat. Okay.
Penny, Gatot Kaca, Ling, Julian, Krill, 3, 2, Ruby,
Come on, bro.
3, Estes, 2, Meleric, Rafaela, Digi, Lori, 2, Lunok dah eh?
Dah. Dah. Okay, so pemenang untuk first hero challenge ialah Momo. Sebab tadi Zaim saya saja jibet dia bagi kalah. Tu je lah.
So Zaim, memandangkan kau kalah, aku nak bagi kau punishment. So punishment ni kau kena sapu lah.
Oh my god, Geelong.
Satu arena,
Geelong,
satu
bro.
arena,
Geelong
satu
jungle.
arena. Boleh? Aku sekarang tak? Okay.
They lost, guys. He lost.
Zaim, kau boleh Zaim.
Will he change?
Seeking to devour your souls. Hey guys, this is Rose and sekarang
Will definitely
dengan
not
Monster
change.
Vision sebab kita orang nak main game. Okay, game yang kita akan main bukan nyanyi So kita akan main game siapa dalam
This classic
team.
though,
So I
doesn't
akan
matter.
cakap satu ayat, lepas tu korang akan point orang mana yang selalu buat benda-benda macam ni, lepas tu explain lah kenapa. Ready? Siapa dalam team paling kelakar?
Uni.
Kenapa dia kelakar?
Bagi kau kenapa tak? Sebab dia badut. Sebab tu dia selalu jadi penghibur orang.
Siapa tidur paling lama?
Oh, Rock.
Oh, kenapa?
Kalau boleh straight seminggu tu dia memang nak tidur.
Siapa makan banyak?
Ada dua.
Okay. Siapa?
Nama dia Nova Escobar.
Dengan?
Uni.
Oh,
Soalnya kalau makanan tak habis kat J tu semua dia orang yang habiskan.
siapa cepat marah? Aku ya.
Amar. Sebab dia budak baru.
Oh my god, I have to
Dia
go
marah
gold.
sini lah.
What am I doing?
Siapa yang daydream
Am I
banyak?
against Layla?
Selalu. Dia nak
What
cakap.
is it, jungle?
Lalu 10 screen dia
Karina.
suka termenung. Lepas tu dia lupa nak ban.
Jangan buat ni dekat MPL. Alright, terima kasih kepada Monster Vicious.
This is going to be bad, bro. Julian Cricket
Hello, nama saya
doesn't even go jungle.
dan juga old. So kami daripada tim Red Esports.
Did he change it?
Main Fast Hero
Yeah,
Challenge.
he
game
did
ni
actually.
adalah korang antara berdua ni, diorang kena sebut nama tapi tak boleh hero sama. Are you guys ready?
Ready.
Alright, okay.
Where is
so
Layla?
first, Ol.
Almond, Alpha, Julian, Bruno, Leia, Clint, Matilda, Mia, Estes, Grak, Camila, Gatot, Chu, Hylos,
I don't see Layla. Let me take.
Prisla, Wanwan,
Okay.
Edith,
What are you doing, bro?
Hayabusa, Fanny, Ding, Elkert, Saber,
Oh my god, she's
Damon,
doing a lot of damage.
Minotaur, Zilong.
3, 2, 1. You forget already?
Yeah.
Okay, so the winner is all. Congrats all. So right now we have a punishment from
Buy
Sesame.
this one.
You must to do a 10 squat. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh my god,
7,
I didn't. Nice.
9.
Oh my god, that was stupid from me. Layla is going to. Okay, wait.
We didn't expect we secure.
Kita orang kalah
Wait,
dekat screen
wait,
10 game straight.
wait.
So, kita orang start balik. I will secure the top 2.
Red had a very bad start at the beginning of the regular season, and no one expected you guys to actually be the second team, honestly, to secure playoffs this
No,
season. Now,
Karina
how
was there.
did you
That's
guys manage to turn the table around and to, be as strong as you guys are today?
Actually, we're still struggling right now. We didn't
He really won me, huh?
secure, but we managed to change their attitude, the discipline inside and outside the game.
There's one day that kita orang semua
That's
kalah
enough
dekat
for
screen
me.
10 game straight. So, after it, I with Coach Bam also told them that we can continue this streak until 20. If you guys want to lose kan, the players cakap diorang nak berubah and then kita orang start balik. Dia hasil dia macam even sekarang pun dia tak memuaskan lagi. So
I
was
want to
hoping
go
and
then.
I think Coach
Over
Bam
there.
also hoping that for the playoff we give 120% and above. Sebab currently if you ask me, apa yang
What
player
the
bagi
heck
poin
Layla
saya
is
still
building,
agak
bro?
70%.
Okay, you dah mention that you ni memang suka Ube strat. Maybe you boleh share kenapa you suka Ube strat?
Sebab my first time going into this coaching semua, saya start dengan UB. That one is on
Oh my god.
2021,
Oh my
the
god,
first time
bro.
Blacklist using the UB
So
strat.
it was
Okay.
Blacklist Prime.
Before the Blacklist Prime.
Before the Blacklist Prime.
So
Ah.
I just watch their games, I
He's
learn,
bad.
and
Why did I do that?
until now, the things is same. Even though we changed the hero, but
Okay,
then
Layla.
the basic is still the same. For me,
I'm gonna fuck
basic
you
is
up.
everything.
Just wait.
We know that the Ube strat originated from the Philippines because of
No way,
Blacklist,
I'm gonna
right? And it's
lose
not
against
really
Layla
viable
with that
anymore. A lot of
build.
teams don't really use it as much anymore. So, what is
Let me-
your opinion on this?
Actually, it's still
Let me
fine.
bully you, my friend.
Because if you don't fight the Ube strat, it's new to you, right? This is assassin meta. You are able to fight that assassin because we know the basics and fundamentals of the Ube strat. And if they don't know how to break it, we still win.
For me, I will secure the top 2. Macam saya dah cakap, saya nak secure
Let me wait.
Samad
Buy
dan
this
Slot.
one first.
So now is the time to get the top 2.
Alright then, thank you so much. Tak kisah jago sukan apa jua, jagokan lagi dengan rangkaian 5G termantap dan terpelek. Gaming sepantas kilat. Menang di Land
Oh
of
my
Knowledge.
god, almost.
Ke Holling Prepaid 5G sekarang.
Oh! This is why Zilong doesn't work, dude. Fucking stupid. Oh my god, I did a mistake. Didn't press it. Good game. Fact that Layla didn't die again, bro. That's... Oh, she's so fast, dude. Okay, he used his ultimate. Use it flash too. Well, I can't kill him, dude. Fucking... Okay. Let me leave him there. Okay. Oh my god, bro! Nice. Let me farm. That's right. Oh my god, he's doing a lot of damage because... Okay. Well, you want to win, just chill. For sure you want to win. Okay, let me buy this one first. Wait.
Tangan aku kenapa ni?
There it is.
Timumu lagi gatal sangat. Gunalah Head and Shoulders. 100% keyakinan, kelomomo dan kegatalan.
Wiped out. Unstoppable.
Not coming. Oh my god, they were waiting for me, bro. Well, are they going to go somewhere? Okay, let's stop. This is useless actually right now. Imagine Zilong. Zilong is not doing anything, dude. Imagine emoting while being this noob, bro.
Welcome to the land of God.
Capture him, bro. Nice. Keep trying. Keep trying. Okay, let's wait. I don't have time for that. Oh my god, dude. So 8, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Nice, he's dead, he's dead. Well played. Keep going, guys. Looking stupid. I think I don't need this, because actually right now the only one that doing damage is to me is this guy. These people are so stupid though. If only they were at least little bit good. Oh, come on, kill them, bro. You are a... Why? Bro, no way he's... Okay, I'm done, bro. I'm done. No way I'm gonna... Okay, let's surrender, guys. Bro, look at these people, bro. I knew it. I should have known, bro. This guy is bad. At least it is classic. It doesn't matter. Fucking Zilong jungle. Radji. I freaking hate these people, bro. I don't wanna go maximum again. I don't notice flag, early flag. How many time left? Guy, I think it's almost time. Need to end fast.
MPL Season 14 is powered by Moonton, KPRG, and MSNJ. Official 5G mobile internet hotlink. Best 5G for lightning fast MLBB gaming. Official gaming phone ROG Phone 8. King of performance for mobile gaming. Official lifestyle fashion partner. Up your game with JD Sports. And thank you to all our partners in esports and strategic partners.
Welcome back, everybody. The MPL MY continues on its very final week, day number 2, with our final best of 3 to end off day number 2. My name is Getting Q. This is Rafa here at the desk to keep you guys company for our upcoming matchup. And this is going to be MV versus JP Niners, both of which on the up and rise. Both need polish.
Both have had some breakout games and also games where they just broke. So looking at the situation right now, they're going to need all the practice they can get to prepare for the playoffs, because unlike the previous match, both teams here are already guaranteed to be going to Johor.
Now keep in mind, guys, if you're looking to keep up with this style, keep up and make sure that your friends are always looking at you when you're winning those games, get some new kicks from JD Sports and up your game in style with JD. It's as simple as heading over to one of their stores and just picking up some new kicks.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good to me. I've checked out some of their stores. They've got some really, really cool stuff, so make sure to show them some support. But now, last game of the day, one of the last matches of the season, in fact. Let us go ahead and have a look at the standings before we jump in.
Currently, our top 6 teams have already qualified for the playoffs. Anything underneath the top 6, they don't get to go to playoffs. They're going to be sitting at home, but the bottom 2 will be eliminated. 10th place instantly eliminated. 9th has an opportunity, but they must defeat Young and the Dangerous for our MAL to be able to keep their spot. If not, it's just going to be given over to Young and Dangerous.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see what happens. As for the teams that are going to be facing off right after this, Monster Vicious currently in 4th. JP Niners currently in 6th, but their points are very, very close. So a victory here for Monster Vicious.
He doesn't have even ult yet.
Pushes them all the way up to 2nd place.
Yeah, and that would be huge for them, because that means they get a bye straight into the upper brackets, skipping the initial first phase of the play-ins.
As for the other side, JP Niners, if they get a 3-0 victory, then they'll basically be competing with Todak for 3rd, 4th place, which will be interesting to see.
Yeah, that would be good.
Oh my god.
I can't remember what their head-to-head was.
Yeah.
And I think their aggregate, I'm pretty sure their aggregate points will be slightly higher, but we'll do the mathematics later. Right now, we need to focus on Monster Vicious, the up-and-comers here. From the Tier 2 scene and continuing to polish their game, it's Marquise, Zeno, Uni, Nova X Kobar, and Ruff to complete the lineup.
Monster Vicious has been making my life as someone who does tier lists every 2 weeks very, very difficult. Because the way they approach is so strange. A lot of people have been calling them a Robin Hood because they rob from the rich and give to the poor. They are also the only team to take down SRG in 2 seasons.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I don't know. I cannot help you in this department, Monster Vicious. They beat out the numbers, which is honestly an impressive thing to do, but it begs the question whether the consistency is going to cost them games, especially when it matters the most.
When they're playing against strong teams, they seem to be on a different level altogether, and yet they have dropped games to teams like Team Hawk and RSG, and it's just very, very strange to see, because all of these players have so much potential. They've demonstrated that. I really don't know what is causing this discrepancy.
I mean, a certain level of overconfidence, another level of just too ahead of themselves in their heads. It's tough to say. I mean, they could be having just a bad week, for an example. There's definitely, you know, you can't expect these players to always be playing at their best every single time, especially in a 6-week-long week. 6-week-long league.
So fucking sad,
Generally,
bro. This is
Monster
so fucking
Vicious
sad.
definitely a team to look out for when they're at their peak.
Ah,
In comparison to their competitors, JP Niners, who have a more consistent rise with ZachQT, Ye3, Max, Rasi, and Loliels, the main five of the lineup. I think that JP Niners, honestly, coming into this, they may seem like underdogs, but they're actually the perfect challenge for MV.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they perform, because JP Niners, I think, are the most consistent team in the center of the pack. Not too strong, not too weak. So if MV gets stronger or weaker, directly proportional to their opponent, then the Niners offers a very interesting litmus test. It is a team that has consistently been getting better and better every single week, and fixing more and more mistakes.
They have, but a lot of it just comes down to the late game, right? We haven't seen JP Niners in a position where it's just overwhelming odds in the earlier sector of the game. It's something that they're looking to learn and pick up, and the compositions that they're providing as well don't really lean into the early game anyways.
Yep, that's usually not the case. This is a team that likes to play for the scaling heroes. Lalea likes to scale, Max likes to scale, ZachQT can do a good amount of damage in the late game as well, and we can see their coordination getting better and better every single time with their imports. So, very curious how this match will go. It is pretty unpredictable.
Honestly, in terms of even like important picks, I think that Suyo is definitely something that both teams are going to be looking at very, very closely here. I don't know if Rasi is going to go back on the Gatot, because again, with Suyo in meta, I feel like a lot of early game compositions are going to are on the up and rise. I mean, especially after the previous best of 3, right? When we saw the Jawhead alone with the Suyo is enough to basically take out anybody in the early game.
I personally have a bias to watching more early game lineups. I think it's a lot more fun when they start making things happen. But you also gotta weigh the risks of maybe not having as good late game scaling. Nowadays, players are farming quicker and quicker than before, which means that late game heroes are coming online faster as well. So you gotta close out the game early, depending on your draft.
Well, I do think that at least for both squads, at the bare minimum, they've got pillars of their own. People think they can reliably fall back to it. In this case, it's ZachQT from JP Niners. He's very similar to Izanami, where he's focused purely on decision-making and positioning. Execution, never an issue.
You can definitely see the impact that was left on him, as he also was an ex-member of the Red Giants. You can see here, the ping test provided by Hotlink. Lightning fast action. If you're looking to improve your gameplay and rank, Hotlink is just what you need. It'll lower your latency and improve your performance.
Yep, so what are you waiting for? Get on with Hotlink here today. A prepaid plan that you guys can use basically anywhere here in Malaysia. And you can even flex it to some of your friends when they're lagging in-game, being like, I should have switched to Hotlink, nerds.
Yup. Make sure you guys show them some support. But as we know, this is going to be the battle between the Monsters and the Warriors. Both of these teams have been rising up more in the recent seasons. Last season, neither side performed the best, but were getting better. And I think this season are reaching newer heights.
They are, I think for both squads, they're reaching newer heights here, right? I would imagine that even for ZachQT coming back into professional play, instead of becoming a bench warmer, now focused very much on getting this team over the line and getting them into a tip-top shape. And I think that Rasi's leadership is very much at the pinnacle of how they've been helping this team have a very focused game plan, or at the very least coordination and cohesiveness during their team fights.
If you ask me, players like ZachQT, Trap, Gojas, all being on the bench was a bit of a travesty. I understand that the Red Giants had different plans in mind, but they all had so much potential. So I'm glad to see that they're slowly branching out into new teams and becoming pillars that other players can depend on.
I don't know whether Gojas is going to make that transition anytime soon. It'll be interesting to see if he does. However, hopefully you guys can start joining the fight. Guys, if you haven't done so yet, scan that QR code, type in the redeem code as well, and you get to win some in-game rewards just for your own account. With that being said, anything else that needs to be touched upon before we start bringing out these teams?
No, I think we've covered mostly everything. I think it's just MV continuing to be really weird because weak teams have beat them, but they've beat SRG.
Surrender, idiot.
So
Surrender, please, bro.
Why
the heck they keep going, dude?
Instead of making the connection, pure momentum. They did it just yesterday as
Oh
well.
my
I'm
God,
sure they're
please
going to be
let me
feeling
go
hot
watch
today
this
as
shit,
both
bro.
of these teams now make their way to the stage.
You are so
Let us
bad. Why you
introduce to you
keep
our
forcing?
competitors.
Monster Vicious.
The all-local Malaysian squad has been on fire this season, recently defeating the world champions, Selangor Red Giants. Their journey has been remarkable, showcasing the strength and talent of Malaysian players. They'll need to bring their best to keep their momentum going. Make some noise for Monster Vicious!
JP Niners.
One of the most impressive teams this season, showing adaptability and strength. Today, they face MB, coming off a big win of their own. While they continue their rise and take down the all-local, let's give it up for the JP Niners! Of course, we cannot forget the coaches and analysts of both teams, along with our head of League Ops, Franklin, to ensure fair play and professional integrity. Let's keep it going with fist bumps between both the teams, a true sign of professionalism. This is how we roll. This is Malaysian sportsmanship. This is a battle between monsters and warriors in their own right.
Good luck to our competitors up on this stage. This is going to be a very important game, especially since it is going to be their last the series of the season. You might as well make it a banger for both sides. Monsters or the Niners, which are you guys leaning into? What about you, Stuff? Are you leaning more into MV or are you leaning more off of JP?
I want to see the MV players show that they are capable of reaching stronger heights, because they're continuing to confuse me every time.
I mean, at least with JP, they're a little bit more consistent. So we asked Rossi, who do you want to beat if you have a chance to meet in the playoffs? And he said Red Esports, because every time they win, they always shout and they're so loud. So I want to fight the mid laner again.
Well, I mean, it's Kim. He has been one of the loudest players ever since his debut here in MPL. So I don't blame Rossi. That can get under your skin a little bit. Would be interesting to see that rematch.
He's young and bold for good reason. Even Rossi, he's not coming of age just yet. He's still in his youngin' years. That being said, I have to agree with you. I am leaning more towards Monster Vicious after yesterday's game against SRG.
God, I thought I got
just to
the
kind of
skin.
know, right? If they can put that same performance,
Imagine if
if
I
not
got the
better,
skin,
against
bro.
JP,
That was
and
really
JP
insane.
still win it, it just goes to show maybe SRG are just having a bad day, or JP is playing out of their goddamn minds.
Let's have a look at a comparison between the roamers here. We got Rossi, we got Nova X Kobar, who has been one of the better roamers here in terms of local Malaysian players for a long time. Was kind of bounced around different teams, finally managed to find the home by moving into MPL with Monster Vicious.
I mean, that was his original team, man. And it feels good that he's able to kind of walk the stage with your OG squad. I can't say the same for Rossi, but Rossi definitely provides a little bit more. Generally, even though his KD assist and average damage taken is going to be in favor of Nova X Cohort, maybe not average assists at the very least, Rossi gives very clear and distinct calls. We hear it all the time in the mic checks, right? He's telling people things that they need to watch out for, and the final call at the end of the fight, whether to leave the person alive or to keep pushing forward.
Historically, I would say that Rossi is a little more low-key than Nova, but I would also say that Nova has recently shifted into a more support position. He's no longer the one making the crazy catches, the crazy plays. He sets up what his team needs from him, and that actually ends up making them more similar than you think.
I think both, in terms of mechanical skill, I would say both are up to par. Maybe Nova because he's slightly younger, but that's just like a biased opinion. But M6 Malaysia, greater than ever, happening in MY. Get your tickets while you still can when they go next up on sale, but also redeem the code and take the QR code if you are lazy to type it in, because I know it's a bunch of letters and numbers, but man, it's annoying to shift back and forth between apps.
I think if we're talking about M6 as well, after yesterday's performance, a lot of people are leaning towards Monster Vicious being that second team to claim a slot besides SRG. What do you think about that?
I think they're hot-blooded, right? They're
Draft
extreme.
the
They're
phase,
an extremely
guys.
young squad. I would still say that they still haven't completely shaken off their amateur roots just yet. But once they get to the international and experience it one time, we're going to see MV evolve if they make it.
That'll be fun to see. But let's go ahead and focus on the matter at hand, and that is the draft. For game number 1, MV going to have first pick.
Right, MV, they ban out the Edith, they ban out the Matilda. This is starting to look like a very similar pattern to how they've banned out against SRG yesterday. Chip, as expected, Chico keep staying on top of the fundamentals, but they also get rid of the Fanny.
Getting rid of the Fanny makes sense. That seems to be Yuri's most consistent hero, actually, to the point where it even caught SRG off guard yesterday. So respect needs to be given.
Yeah, but MV, very well prepared for this. Both Soren as well as Coach Haru.
Damn,
very
bro,
targeted
let's
ban
ships
and
at
getting
least
rid of
open
Eve.
one time,
Zach
guys.
QT definitely focused around his
Ban it
positioning.
every time.
Things like Eve really benefit him in these types of fights to be able to not only control the fight, but to help with the calls that Rasi gives and buy that extra bit of space and time for his team members to all get cohesive and lead in with the singular mind to take out the right targets.
Well, if we're talking about singular mind, we gotta talk about the main DPS, the gold laners. Ruff currently 3 out of 3 games in Moscow and 5 out of 6 with Natan. Whereas Lolil still undefeated with Harif, Bruno, and Roger.
Luckily they didn't add Claude to that list because that would be a different case. But generally, I think this is going to be interesting, right? MV going to be locking in Jushin first pick. We don't get to see Jushin that often, but MV has been making it work time and time again.
Martizi, literally the only player in the league who still prioritizes this hero. And well, it got them the win against the Red Giants, so I think it's pretty solid overall. But it does mean giving Ling and Khalid to the 90s.
Gatot and as well as Suyo going to get locked in for MV. Very good options. It looks like they're running off of the same strategy they did yesterday against SRG with a slight tweak targeting Zach QT. With that being said, JP now lock in the Angela. They've got the Ling, Angela combo. They've got Khalid as well. 2 early game heroes to support the Ling until he gets his items.
The Angela Ling combo has been making a return. We got a viewer in the
pulling.
audience doing a 10 roll. Kati, a skin.
Oh, Khalid.
Okay, all right. At least you got a skin. I'll take it. I mean, unless he already owns it, then it's a little sad. But generally, not bad. Go for another one. Oh, this is his first.
No way you get it on the one bingo.
Is he gonna go for more?
He's got more. He's got more. Yeah.
Oh
my god.
No! He doesn't have enough!
The pain.
That's so sad.
The pain. As soon as the diamond screen showed up, it's like, it hurts.
Moskov
it hurts
too.
so bad. We go into the second phase. We see the Harith ban and the Moskov ban, respectively, from JP.
Focus towards the gold lane now. Makes a lot of sense. Ruff and Lolil have interesting styles of play, where in the past we would have said Lolil was the more aggressive of the two, but I think has simmered down quite a lot. We're seeing Lolil mature in that late game. Not to say he's flawless, he still definitely overextends from time to time, but a much better match nowadays.
I feel like Ruff is on the opposite sector, right? Now, he used to be a very passive player. Now he's getting more and more aggressive as his team becomes more confident in the way that they play. His Moskov the other day, literally 1 HP in the middle of SRG, still able to clutch it.
Ruff is pretty impressive in that sense, but gotta keep a cool head sometimes. That's also what happened with Lolil in his debut season, and we know how it developed from then onwards. But gonna be heavy focus towards the
please
goal lane.
don't forget to
Natan
like
gonna
and
be
subscribe
banned
to me.
out. Arlet
I'm
as
new
well
to
from
this.
the
I
Niners
want
side.
to reach 100 before the end of the month.
Well,
guys.
looks like we got fans
Thank
who've
you.
been here the entire season and also want to be part of M6 to watch that go down. A true historian in the audience. Now that Arlet is gone, JP now
So
holding
Max,
the first
what
pick.
are you
They could
going
show
to
their gold
pick, bro?
lane here, but they don't. Well, actually, it's a double flex pick with the Angela as well. Not too sure where the
I
roamer
think they
is gonna
need
go.
like a
Yeah, that
a
one's not
marksman
certain
and
yet. If they want to keep it flexible,
a room
nope.
shoe.
Looks like
Okay.
they're not going to do so.
Shoe
They're going to
XP.
go ahead and reveal the Cho here. Also, a denial pay
But where is
chronoside
Shu
of
going?
MP so that they don't
Oh,
get
Angela
a
mid, I
free
think,
2-person kick
probably.
on the heart guard.
Okay, it's not bad.
Probably
but I still
going
have
to be
no
Angela
idea
mid.
where any of these heroes are going to go just yet, and we're only going to find out on their very last pick. Good stuff coming in from Chico and Ancha as well. MV. Now I have to think hard about this. How do we deal with the shield? The early game pressure is going to be a little difficult, so maybe our EXP laner needs to be able to match it. But now that Cho and Khalid is gone, what are you left with? Volvius is banned out too. Maybe a high loss?
Typically, when you see something like the Angela, Kaja is always something to consider since the Divine Judgment would work, but it would mean flexing the Gatot into the EXP lane. We'll see if Monster Vicious considers that. They're going to go ahead and lock in carry with Terizla.
Right. At least with Terizla, it's very Zeno focused. He's going to basically just be looking to clear waves all the time until he's got his first or maybe even second item, and then participate by flickering in with penalty zone. JP are aware of that, but we need to see what this full lineup does before we can figure out what the game plan is.
Imagine this is Alice now gold lane.
Alice gold lane?
Then you have Angela, Ling, or Alice.
Would that be good though? I don't know.
It's a carry though, so MV have already prepared for it.
Yeah, they go with the Lunox this time round. The iframes are going to be useful, especially when you're dealing with Gatot, and more so to dodge the burst of Suyo. Regardless, if Lunox is your first target, you're just baiting. You're just trying to get her brilliance out as soon as possible.
Okay, an interesting start here. I think MV's got the more typical lineup. They have a lot of tools to play around to the early mid-game scaling. Whereas for the Niners side, Angela Cho means that they will be missing a lot of early game burst damage.
Right, I mean, let's look at this. The whole composition, strong area control, but Uni's the only one who's got some decent early game damage. I mean, unfortunately for Drizzly, he's been nerfed, but even for JP, which area do you gank with? You have Ye3 as well as Zach QT as the main controllers of this early game. If they can hold on to the early game and bring it into mid without losing anybody, I think it's going to be a good game for the Niners.
Let's see how this develops. The Land of Dawn shall open once again to welcome two competitors, both vying for higher positions in the standings to prepare for the playoffs.
All right, let's jump right into it. It's going to be Uni going to be starting on his orange buff on a blue side against JP Niners. Max is going to be starting on his purple buff on red side. So they're on the same side of the map, and I'm guessing that the gold lane is on top. Wild guess? Yep. It's going to be a quick rotation from both sides. I am curious to know why Nova is hanging around. I think he's expecting an invade of some sort, but they're starting on the EXP side of things, right? So now they see the movement coming in from Ye3. They head back up. All of this defending for what?
I think it's just to make sure Niners don't go for a cheeky steal, because if they don't have anyone defending, there's the possibility Niners comes in, takes their purple first, and then back into their own jungle. It's not often seen, but it's a possibility.
Good. Then it's just good foresight coming in from Rossi.
Oh my god.
Not looking too good for Zach QT. He doesn't mind taking the damage, but he can't take too much here.
Oh, no.
Martizi making sure that he's punishing Zach QT's mana.
Meanwhile, in the top lane, contest over the gold crab. Uni looks like they did get it, but takes a lot of damage as well. Tempest Blaze will be committed by Max. He wants to get the kill, but not quite enough damage to finish him off, and has to quickly jump away from Martizi.
Oh, I don't know about that. Blade surging like that from Uni, especially into 3 people plus Rossi on this Cho, probably not the best idea. He's lucky he got a bailout there, but something to keep note for later.
Yeah, the thing about Suyo is that while you have a lot of tools for getting in and out, they are also the same tools. So if you commit a lot to jump in, you're going to run out of ways of disengaging.
Well, let's see it. Rossi and as well as Nova Escobar are going to contest for level 4 at this point of time. But I think right now, Monster Vicious, team fighting is kind of difficult.
I think it's okay, but they gotta have a good amount of their team nearby because a lot of their damage is front-loaded onto Uni. Rossi jumping in, Raging Sands are gonna land on one. Uni still secures the turtle, but a nice knockup from the Tempest Blade is gonna be doing a lot of damage with the Hard Guard as Uni drops first blood, claimed by Max. And Monster Vicious not able to chase. Avatar the Guardian beautifully dashed away by the Niners.
And this is why I was worried about MV. The problem isn't about team fighting. The problem is just raw base damage. Oh, wait, Brilliance is out. Does Lolios want to go for the Darkening? He doesn't have enough mana, I think. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, looks like not too much there. Bottom lane also a pretty close matchup, but the Niners getting a small lead here with that first turtle and the kill onto Uni.
Both sides holding it even for now. We're looking for the big tempo break because JP Niners, I feel like they're the ones currently on the clock, except for Lolios, but everybody else, they can only scale so far. So they need to make things happen across the map because right now, Ye3 can't leave his lane. So it's only Max and Zach QT with Rossi as the mid trio to make the difference.
In the same way, if Monster Vicious are able to catch out Max, then Niners also kind of lack damage. A lot of it would be on Ye3 instead. So there are key players in the junglers on both sides that need to be targeted first.
Uni has been power farming this entire time. Currently a level lead on Max. Very slight EXP lead. Loliel's first item, Glowing Wand. All right, fair enough. He's expecting the DHS to eventually come out.
Both junglers are in the bottom lane, but Uni will strike first. Blade Surge cancels out the Raging Sandstorm. Yeah, 3 drops before the animation can complete.
Nicely done for Monster Vicious. Good using CC, especially on a Khalid who absolutely hates the CC. Breaks you out of your animations, but most importantly, makes sure that you can't just quicksand guard in somebody's face. Good movements from Rossi.
Oh, just barely avoids being taunted, though Martizi is still going to be really annoying. And that means MV have control over the turtle pit.
He's here. Hovering around for this. Does want to be part of this turtle fight, but I don't think it's going to be that easy. And I think Lolios is going to go for a lane swap. No.
They decide to
Zeno is here as well, actually. This could be a 5v5 if the teams decide to commit right now. I'm not sure that's what they really want just yet. MV though, going to be the ones working on the turtle. Rossi in the back line, Ling on the wall. Yeah, 3 doing a good job. Raging Sandstorm flickers in, catches 3, but the turtle is secured by MV. Hard guard goes on the Ling once again, but on the Vicious actually surviving a lot of it right now. And Martizi picks up Yeah 3 at the same time after the Guardian. Zones out Max, hard guard still available. Uni doing a lot. Martizi as well, double kill for the Zeus Sin as the Niners don't know what hit them.
Too many people got locked down, and Martizi is really abusing
guys,
the CC
don't forget to like and subscribe, guys.
Picking people up. Sometimes he's just adding the stack.
No, he's not.
Fine, right?
He's fine.
Okay. So far, so very good for Monster Vicious finding a big turnaround fight like that. However, they're not collapsing upon the important
and they got
targets.
A turret too.
When I mean targets, I mean objectives, things like the purple
bottom, I mean.
And I think even for Monster Vicious, right, they're just trying to get by. They want to get their first couple of items, scale into the mid game, and once Jushin is in a position where she can actually pick somebody up 3, maybe even 4 times, is when you expect to see Monster Vicious have a deadly.
I think it's
Uni gonna get caught. Beautiful ambush by Rossi. Finds him, lands the kick, beats the kill to Lolil.
Dang, I'm surprised that he got caught like that. Unfortunately, they didn't have the backup.
I don't think he was expecting that rotation. Monster Vicious were still resetting a little bit after their previous engagement. Rossi actually in their jungle right now. I feel like
please,
he's
guys, don't forget to like and subscribe, guys.
A kick here because Monster Vicious are cutting his team off of him. A nice knockout.
The
penalty zone is committed, and Rossi is picked
what are you
off.
doing?
Good punish from Monster Vicious. This did cost them 2 ults, though. At the very least, penalty zone. Without the penalty zone, we don't expect Monster Vicious to fight just yet, but they can buy plenty of time. 20 seconds until the next turtle actually spawns. And while this has all been happening, both Max and as well as Uni power farming, both at level 9.
It's surprising to see how well Uni has kept up, considering that he was picked off quite early on and even just killed earlier as well. So matching and even surpassing Max in EXP is really good for MV currently.
Marcy, okay, nice.
Rossi and some, nah, he's fine.
They managed to move away. They got they baited Martizi's ult, which is already great. It means that he doesn't have that extra bit of mobility.
Are they going to contest the total?
Precise with the way that they attack.
I think Ling is going to follow.
MV so very smart. They know that Uni isn't here, so they're just going to drag this out until he does, and then force JP Niners towards them.
And Nova was even trying to mess with his purple
nice.
buff. Uni gets that turtle quite easily.
Right now.
Max was still able to get his purple, but the delay from Nova X Kobar meant he couldn't come for the turtle.
Yeah, and now you see that JP Niners, now that the EXP lane has been unlocked, Zeno doesn't mind leaving the lane, but worse yet for JP.
Flicker kick onto Martizi, right into the wheel, and they'll finish him off instantly. But Nova's here now. Hard guard gonna be used on Max once again. Nova uses Avatar the Guardian, unfortunately misses Raging Sandstorm. Gonna stun him in place. He survives for a while, but not long enough. And now the rest of Monster Vicious are fighting a losing battle. As Max gets the double kill, picks off Ruff. Uni gonna be chased down. Triple kill going to Max.
Disgusting team fight coming in from JP Niners. Rossi sets it up perfectly. Loliel's distance himself just to maximize the machine gun mage herself in that darkening. But Max, so very good. Mechanically, he is not missing a single beat, and Zach QT is happy to be in his backpack.
Of this Heart Guard, Angela Ling combo has been catching so many teams off guard, even worth banning at some points. Monster Vicious, Martizi's been doing good work, but if he's the first one out of the fight, you can see they have some trouble.
They do. And I think that, at least for MV, it's very clear what they need to work on here. Martizi just needs to be careful with his positioning, and things should go smoothly after. Because the fact is, JP Niners, they want to dive head first into Monster Vicious, but they can't with Jushin consistently peeling and repositioning them.
And that's why Rasi being able to kick him out of position was really, really big here. It's not usually the target you'd look for, but in this particular case, Niners have more than enough sustain to fight the rest of the team. They just gotta deal with the mid laner that is disrupting their ranks.
Now they have a second problem, right? Because Martizi, the only reason he died was because he didn't have his Purified. Now that it's active, I think the Otis is on Ye 3 to look for some really big Raging Sandstorms, but he's gonna make some tough choices. Do I need to hit Martizi and force him to use that Purify, or do I just go for as many people as possible?
Oh my god,
this
the poke
adaptation
there.
will be important. We see Lolil actually starting to do some good DPS, doing
Yeah.
half of Martizi's health bar in a small skirmish.
Gonna dance around this Lord first. Looking at the items, yep, 2 items already complete for this Ling. The gold deficit shrunk, they're back to even.
And even is exactly where the Niners want to be. Their late game scaling is pretty good with a Lunox and a Ling. Monster Vicious, while they do have a carry, may be a bit more difficult to execute on once you get into the later stages. For now though, we can see macro play being used by the Niners. With Ling and Angela, they can quite easily split push and force Monster Vicious to be uncomfortable.
Speaking of uncomfortable, Tri-Brush is going to get cleared. So far, we don't see Max, but the fight's about to break out here. But both
Nova
sides
taking a
still
lot of
holding
damage.
on to their guns.
Great discipline from the Niners. Max was behind them, still not engaging, looking for a better timing and maybe even trying to abuse his mobility to get more macro play in.
Okay, so now I'm not sure whether they saw the Finch Poise, and that's why Monster Vicious are starting to rush this right now, but Max doesn't have his Finch Poise, so he can't necessarily get out for free.
Lord dropping very low. Rasi looking for the unique kick. He gets it! Kicks him away! Max even gets the monster kill on Kobar! And Uni not able to survive.
Good
Lord
play
going over to the Niners. Ruff able to trade for the Khalid, but what will it cost? As Max commits the Tempest of Blades, finds him, picks him off. Triple kill again.
Oh my god, again a triple kill.
Martizi pulls him back.
But Angela dead. Oh,
so
is
Zach
it breaker?
now
Can he survive?
Oh,
nice.
almost gets it back in time. But he trades it
Legendary.
for Max, and that is a legendary streak for the Niners
Oh my
jungler.
god.
Max is disgusting right now. 9-0-1, max level, 11 minutes in this game. He's absolutely crushing it, but that's the problem. Too much gold and EXP on one guy isn't going to be enough to close this game out. They're going to need some real structures.
And that's exactly what Niners are doing right
bro.
now. Max even just tanking damage for Xeno since he knows he's no threat to him. Gets the bottom tier 2, has a Lord pushing up top. Monster Vicious is going to be left on only inhibitors.
They're going to be taking their time here. JP Niners have not set up checkmate angle. Both teams have been fighting pretty equally. A consistent back and forth, in a matter of fact. 1-5-1 by JP Niners, 1-5-1 by Monster Vicious, and then rinse and repeat.
Guys, don't forget to like and subscribe, guys.
Using
Please.
the changes to Zeus in the scout out pushes since it
I
doesn't
feel
cost
bro
mana
over
unless
here.
there is an enemy inside.
Looking for any possible punishes here. I gotta keep my eyes on Rasi right now because so far he's been finding some incredible kicks. Either Martizi is either kicked out and picked off. Nova X-Scorback just can't use his avatar of the Guardian in time. Can't wait to see what else JP has in stored.
Yeah, it seems like the
god.
Niners actually have
Look
too
at
much
his mana.
mobility for the
Not
Katot to
moving.
be able to catch
Oh
them out
my
with the ultimate.
god, what
The
is
setup
this?
needs to be a little bit cleaner there because they're losing a lot of control from this ability whipping so many times.
Yeah, I think we need to see Zeno go for the big engage with the penalty zone first and then see what the response from JP Niners is after.
Speaking of, Niners looking to pressure the purple buff now. Yetri engaging
dead.
on Martizi,
Martiz.
instantly
Oh,
forcing
nice.
ult from Zeusin. Ruff doing a good amount of poke to Rasi, actually dropping him to 40%. Purple buff going to be reset. Monster Vicious does zone them out, but Max is still here.
Okay,
Looks like
nice.
Uni was
Uni
able to
took it.
take it for himself.
He has it so far, as we can see. both sides in terms of like EXP, in terms of gold laners, both 13 to 13 level. Zeno and Ye3 is down by a level. Both junglers are maxed out 13 minutes into this game. Martizi level 12 to Zach QT's level 12. So honestly, it's pretty dead even except for the economy. EXP leads barely, are honestly marginal at this point for both Zeno and Ye3 because both of them do want to do the exact same thing. Just go in, engage as hard as you can, and then sustain through the damage.
Imagine Ling had 9 kills, guys.
Isn't that big either. 13 minutes in, only just under 3k. So MV are still actually okay as long as they take their next few fights properly. Ruff has just got his Wind of Nature as well, so that should help him dual max a little easier.
Actually, speaking of which, JP9ers, if we look at the current state of the game, JP9ers have the advantage because at the very least they can chase Monster Vicious all the way from the Lord Pit to their base. There are no structures in between to save them.
Zeno in some trouble. Already
Zero taking a lot of damage.
Tossed into the penalty zone.
Damn.
Finds Tree. Tempest of Blades comes out.
But
Max gets the
Ling is
legendary
so
though. He's
fed,
already
bro.
picked up Ruff. That is the key target.
Oh
Zeno,
my God.
Avatar the Guardian
What
actually
out?
lands on a good
Probably.
spot for once, but it's already
what
too
out,
late.
guys?
Malil gets his own double kill. Martizi, the only survivor. Heart Guard used on Rasi to increase his movement speed
nice
and allow
flash,
him to
but he
chase down
doesn't
the
have ult.
Zusin, zoning him away while Max gets a free push in the mid lane. Zach QT
Whoa, that was
somehow
good.
surviving the tower after all of that. And Niners just going to use
I think
this as
it's
a
GG.
chance to immediately end the game on the Crystal.
They've done it,
GG.
and they've broken through. Crystal down, game
Damn.
1 over.
That was
JP9ers
clean, bro.
slow and steady wins the race. Calculated fights,
That was-
but just
that was
give
clean
Max
from
Ling
JP9ers.
plus Angela, and it's basically as good as over.
That was an excellent call as well. The moment they won that fight, immediately the decision was made. Heartguard the Cho, chase down Martizi, go for the push. They cannot respawn fast enough to stop us. A clean victory for the Niners.
Very clean. One of their cleanest ones yet. And
They couldn't
honestly,
do
this was a
anything.
pretty grueling game with both sides having some good concepts, but the execution was what made the difference. Towards the end there, I would say that they pretty got hard stat checked.
It does seem that way, because Ruff just blew up at the start of the fight, and that means no damage. Max just gets to go ham.
He got a free game this time, but I don't think they're going to give him another free game. I think the Angela probably is pretty deserving of a ban. You can leave Ling up, that's totally fine, because Uni still is capable of playing it for themselves. It's just something to keep in mind for the upcoming game.
I think the draft was a little bit harder for Envy to execute because there was so much mobility on the side of the Niners. And while you have Zusin and Gatot to catch people out, it takes a bit of work when they can just keep jumping around you.
Yeah, that's why I was hoping that Nova X Kobar was able to get some like pretty nasty taunts in these fights. However, you can see that the way JP9ers are positioning themselves, they're less worried about Martizi, they're more worried about Nova and arguably even Zeno, right? Because sometimes you don't know where Uni is coming from. Most of the time, once he engages with the Blade Surge, then you can punish him almost instantaneously. So that's why Zeno and Martizi were the big focuses in these games.
Yeah, Niners were very, very smart with the way they approached this game. MV was doing pretty alright in the first couple of minutes. Then you saw a light bulb go off in the Niners' head. We gotta aim Zeus in, we gotta aim the engages. We don't really have to mind the positioning of Nova, of Ruff, of Uni, because they don't have enough damage to threaten a Heart Guard Ling.
Well, let's look at our MVP Max at the age of 21, having a great game by himself, but can he do it just one more time to give JP9ers a 2-0 victory? Man, Max has been killing it on Ling. I mean, we've known he's been nasty on two things, Roger and Ling.
And this time we get to see how scary that Ling can be. 10-0-4. 88% kill participation, 856 GPM. The issue that a lot of junglers have with Ling nowadays, even Skies, is that he's not that strong in the early game, and even in the late game can be quite squishy. Angela just deals with all those problems.
I mean, that's the thing, right? It was an interesting draft coming out from JP Niners, and I gotta give it to their coaching staff here to come up with Angela, Cho, and as well as Khalid as a triple flex pick to really keep your opponents on their toes while still making sure that the early game is within your grasp.
This is clean. I like the growth we're seeing from the Niners. We said they'd been getting better every single week, and somehow that momentum has not stopped.
It has not stopped yet, but it doesn't mean that MV are out of this just yet. Let's quickly look at the post-game stats. I'm going to quickly check the items. I don't think I see anything out of the ordinary from the MV side. Yep, everything all up to par. Same thing goes for JP.
It was a pretty quick game as well. 14.5 minutes in. Max was dominating, but Lolil was getting a pretty good time himself, already having 4 items, including the Holy Crystal and the Wishing Lantern, with 5 kills to his name as well. MV's lineup was just not good at catching him.
It's tough, right? He's got plenty of iframes, and even when you're done with the iframes, as soon as he hops out into that darkening form, ooh, I know I have chills down my spine when I think about that. It's like, do you take this? Could he burst me down before I could kill him?
It's a great split too, because Lunox is magic and Ling is physical, so it forces MV into a dichotomy of what defensive build to go on. And that meant that Nova and Xeno were both just melting really fast regardless.
Yeah, the game didn't drag on long enough for them to get into max items, and that was also an issue. But at the very least, I think that MV, that early game definitely needs a double take, because unfortunately losing that mid lane control, and then, because they were already expecting Ye3 to maybe go for information, maybe go for an invade, maybe a vertical jungling angle, stealing away their own purple buff, it may have cost them a bit of time.
Yeah, I don't really mind too much the Zusin Prio pick, because Martizi is pretty cracked on it, but they then picked Gatot quite quickly on afterwards, which locks them into a very teamfight kind of pick-off style, and it's not very good at catching heroes like Ling or Lunox.
I think maybe it could have been a hard read to respond to in case a high loss showed up for any reasons necessary in this meta. I think that if they did do it in response to maybe deterring the high loss, it's a good idea, but at the end of it, it feels like Lolios is getting more and more confident with his own hero pool. Like, I wasn't expecting to see Lunox into rough playing carry, that's for sure.
Damage.
Yeah, but it works really well against the
Close
tanky
to
heroes
Ling,
like a
who was
top,
fed.
especially because once he's used his tools, you can just Chaos Assault him down, and there's not much he can do to stop you. The damage dealt very, very even on both sides, and even the damage taken, actually.
Pretty good numbers so far. 84,000 coming in from Ye3. I know he was in the middle of a lot of that fight, but how much did that quicksand guard actually block? Because I know he cancels it like extra early, especially when he can foresee like a potential CC come out from MV.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that MV did almost as much damage as the Niners, because in comparison, I feel like Ling and Lunox were coming online really, really quickly.
Same. I don't know. It's an interesting one, but let's look at our key players here. Our rich guy in the carry obviously going over to Max, but the sandbag going over to Nova X Kobar, and the best wingman going to Zach QT.
Zach QT is just having a great time. He's just jumping onto someone, letting them do the work. He's like, all right, I'm done.
He's literally along for the ride.
But that last call to go on to Rasi, to let him chase down and delay Martizi's recall to base, that was great.
That was a very good idea. Overall, JP continued to evolve. I do want to see the adjustments coming in from MV, because I feel like Haru might just lean into red side for the upcoming game, but I'm not 100% sure. Let's first look at the KDA map, because my golly, there are plenty of kills and assists happening across the map.
And so many kills onto the Gatot as well. You would think that's not a target the Ling can easily whittle down, but not a problem. I think Max got enabled heavily by Zach QT on this Angela. And Rasi being the one to really kick things off by starting the kill chain with those waves of the dragon. JP Niners looking really good.
Oh, whether or not they're going to get the same draft again is a big question mark for me. I don't think they're going to get the Cho. I do not think that they're going to get Angela Ling. Whether it's the Ling or the Angela, one of them is going to get banned out, if not stolen away.
I agree with you. So, strong thing about some of the top teams, including MV, is their ability to adapt between games. And I doubt that Coach Haru is going to allow a similar sort of draft to go through again.
Yep. I think it's just right now, both teams are pretty evenly matched against each other. It's just who can execute just a little bit better and really take advantage of the small leads that they generate, whether it be timing or even gold.
Yeah, I think from MV's perspective, though, they definitely cannot allow the Niners to be in control in the early game. We've already mentioned they're really, really good at scaling late. If you let them accelerate that timing, the game just takes over.
It really does. And it's strange because the momentum doesn't feel like it's an overwhelming force. It's more so, I'm getting stat checked. I'm getting stat checked. I'm getting stat checked. I can't win this 1v1. With that being said, looks like we have a little bit of a segment on the off stage here. Is it LaFell? Is it Rose? Who knows? Let's throw it to the off stage.
Oh my god.
Terima kasih banyak dan sekarang anda tak nampak saya tapi jujur saya cakap saya nervous sikit. Yang ni
My
takut,
kill, bro.
Yang ni nervous, ni Ellie, ni Tasha. Hai, selamat datang kepada MPL off stage yang dibawakan khas oleh Hotlink. Okay, alright. Jadi sekarang ni kita bersama dengan mereka berdua. Awak dah pergi break. Tadi Max main power gila kan?
Yeah,
power gila.
Betul.
Kalah tadi. Macam mana perasaan ni? Macam mana boleh kalah?
Tak tahu.
Tak tahu? Alah. Sianya. Tak nak jawab lebih? Tak nak. Dia tak nak jawab lebih. Jadi saya tanya awak lah. Macam mana menang tadi?
Kita biasalah put trust on the team.
Put trust on the team. Saya nampak usaha awak tadi. Dia jerit-jerit. Ailio keluar banyak gitu.
Tak ada. Bukan.
Oh, tak keluar Ailio? Oh, saya salah tengok. Peluh Mungkin. Game kedua, awak yakin tak MV boleh menang?
Saya rasa boleh.
Rasa boleh? Kenapa?
Sebab boleh.
Sebab diorang kalahkan SRG semalam kan?
Betul.
SRG tu dah lah kuat.
Itulah. Lepas tu menang.
Saya susah nak cakap dengan dia. Jadi untuk game ni, rasanya JP Niners, diorang punya peluang nak menang 2-0 tu tinggi ataupun rasa macam MV boleh fight balik dan dapat 1 point?
Kalau ikutkan chemistry, kalau ikutkan kita punya kita tengok performance dia setiap minggu, saya percaya dia orang boleh tutup game ni 2-0. Tapi nak bagi caster balik lambat sikit, 2-1 lah.
Jarang saya jumpa orang biadab macam ni tau. Saya rasa macam saya nak sokong MV pula. Tapi kalau sokong korang nanti kita balik lambat kan?
Tak apalah, balik je lah lambat.
Awak, wife saya tunggu tau. Saya risau, buang awak, saya tidur luar. Tapi it's okay, saya ada kucing. Terima kasih banyak. Nak duduk?
Nak.
Tak boleh. Kita akan throw dulu kepada caster. Di mana? Korang pula. Aduh, sakit.
Oh my god.
At this point, I feel like LaFell taking over is an upgrade.
Oh, dude, this is the offstage segment. My goodness. What a segment we have between the games. This is why they're the most entertaining region for good reason. But now, let's get right into business here because MLB need to equalize this. I say need to equalize because they just lost their chance to make it into top 2 because of that loss.
That would have been huge. Imagine getting as far in the bracket as you can start and not having to face off against SRG. So considering MV, maybe facing SRG is better for them.
Who knows? But we quickly asked Monster Vicious's own Haru and asked him, were you... I hate this. Were you terharu by MV's performance last night? Terharu, for those of you who don't know, directly translates to surprise. And he said, yes, I'm really surprised by my players. I'm still confused, though, why we face teams at the bottom of the table. Something seems to go wrong somewhere, but we'll try to fix it before the playoffs.
I have the same question, Haru. Why?
Haru's the only real human being there. Everybody else is just like, what's going on? What's happening?
Wait, if they're not real human beings, what are they?
Come on, don't make me spell it out for you. Say it. It's in the name. Starts with the M, ends with the V.
That's fair.
Yeah, somebody's catching on. But
Monster doesn't end with a V.
God damn it, you got me there. Okay, fine. Team comparison. MMV currently at the 22nd game, 22 games already played to collect their data. JP at 20 games because they've won a couple of 2-1s of their own. Total damage dealt is where you see Monster Vicious beat them, but first blood rate, JP actually has a whopping 55%.
It's really impressive to see because early on in the season, Niners were a little bit weaker towards the early game phase, so there's been a lot of growth there.
Wait, is that every single... Wait, is that Ruff's just his straight up classmate?
I'm not sure. I feel like we needed to look at that a little longer.
He got a picture with like a majority of them. I don't think he missed anybody out there. But keep in mind, everybody, that M6 is happening in Malaysia. Scan the QR code, type in the code. You know what to do. You know what to do at this point. We got 26 more seconds, and I want to speculate about possible changes for MV to win this game.
Possible changes. I think they might still want to prioritize the Zusin because it was working pretty well for them, but if they do so, they gotta make sure their roamer is more hard CC.
Ooh, is Gato not enough? I feel like Gato would have been enough. He's got a soft CC in that slow with the ground pound. He's got the taunt as well if he's able to connect
maybe
it.
hard CC is not the right term. Reliable CC.
Okay, reliable CC. So Popo and Koopa in the roam, at least you can target lock somebody and then pair it up with the frost traps on top of that. That's like a 3-second, well, almost a 2.5 second stun.
I mean, yeah, but maybe not Popo and Koopa, you know? Like Kaja would have worked. Cho was an option before it was locked in by the Niners. Things that are a little easier to secure CC.
I agree with the Cho. I disagree with the Kaja. I think Kaja, you're going to need a burst hero more than Jushin, who's more of a dot peel style.
That's true.
I think the big issue is like, oh yeah, Divine Judgment. Oh no, what's going to happen? I'm going to pick you up and throw you back a little bit further, and then you walk away.
They should have went Jushin Jawhead.
Oh.
And you just throw someone into another country.
You just hopscotch him across. Like, you hopscotch him mid all the way to the bottom side of the map.
Yep.
Brutal. Brutal indeed. But now there has been an adjustment. MV now on red side, JP on blue with the same couple of... Oh, wait, actually, no. A slight adjustment. Fanny Ban, Gatot, and as well as Faramis. MV chipping as well as...
Oh my god, sorry guys. I'm playing. Oh
yeah,
my god.
Phobias, my bad.
Need to end it.
I just said it so quick that it just slipped my mind.
Usually they yap a lot.
Yeah, looking at the recap here, there are some pretty notable changes, with Chip being switched out for Gatot since Niners are on the blue side, forcing MV to have to ban it, and they actually do get rid of the Ling instead of the Angela.
Okay, alright, so that means Angela is still up for grabs if anybody wants to find a catalyst for her. Gonna be Cho. All right, good start from MV. Let's see what this first pick from JP is gonna be actually. Is it gonna go straight back to Khalid? They don't have to worry about the Phobius. Hylos was not touched in both of these games. They could look to flex pick in that area, but I think Khalid is probably the strongest opener.
Yeah, they could even have like flex pick Gatot early, but Edith was left open.
Okay. All right, fair enough, fair enough. Take the Edith here. Rossi's been doing God's work with it anyways.
What does MV want at this point?
I don't know. I feel like as much as Jushin is kind of nasty from Martizi, I feel like it should have been picked within like second rotation is too long. It probably gets banned out there. Maybe as a third pick here. I feel like you need to see more of JP's composition before you make that choice.
But they've comboed it with a Matilda here. That will enable much more aggressive early rotations from Monster Vicious. But they've also got to contend with a Harif and a Hayabusa from Max.
All right. And this is where Max gets real aggressive. He likes to go Warcry, the traditional Warcry Hayabusa, and he looks for early ganks. That's why you see that 55% first blood rate.
It does mean MB wants a little more early game presence, so Alpha gonna be a very good answer for that. When you combine it with Zusin and Matilda, ganking early from MV is very possible.
Yeah, but JP, I think that JP has done really good work here, right? Open up with the Edith, lock in after seeing Matilda as well as Jushin. I think that Hayabusa, any assassin could fit in that position, but Harith specifically, because now MV has to answer the question, do I put in the Lunox first or do I get my jungler? And I think in their minds, Alpha is more important as of right now. We probably can still play carry into Harith, worst comes to worst.
Yeah, Blink carry is fine. Natan is still open. I think MV feels the gold lane hero pool is still much wider as compared to the jungle hero pool, so prioritizing Uni's hero first made sense to them, and they will also deny the Eve to make sure that Niners don't have easy zone control.
Some people came down from college and there's a curfew? Dang, okay. Hopefully, MV is able to come back 2 games in a row and they're not banished into the Shadow Realm at that point from your college.
Well, there's a reason that parents tell their kids there's monsters out at night, so they shouldn't go out too late, you know?
The irony, the raw irony. Khalid, the follow-up ban coming in from JP. MV now holding priority over the draft. Is there anything that they need to get rid of here? EXP hasn't been predetermined yet. Are there any other decent EXP laners at this point? Edith is going to naturally clear the waves fast. No Cho. Loyi also getting taken off too. Ooh.
Heavy focus to ZQT. MV wants to make sure they are the ones controlling the fight. That means no real world manipulation, slowing them down, and no diversion so that they always have to look behind their shoulders. I think this makes a lot of sense.
I think it makes a lot of sense too, but I feel like JP, they might be... I don't know if they're going to try and set up for a Valentina, but I think MV needs to show some kind of a juicy ult to work with right now.
Valentina, would they want to...
Not unless this is a really fat ult for JP.
I think considering what MV is playing, things like Vex and Aurora are still perfectly fine.
I would say Aurora is significantly better here.
I agree. If MV is going to run at them, especially with something like a Matilda around, having an Aurora to freeze would be pretty nice to have. But
or at the very least to slow their opponents with a Hailstorm. I think either or, there is strong engagement potential for the side of MV. Whether they double down in that aspect, I'm not 100% sure, but I think that JP, they need to be careful. Oh! Show off your EXP, hold on to your gold
Oh my god,
last.
the game ended.
Interesting.
Double fighter, maybe? Because they can technically play Ruby into Aerith here.
I would not like double fighter here. When you have an alpha in the jungle,
Damn,
you
this
are
game was
locking
insane.
yourself into early game. Once you get the mid game, the opponent has like 3 items, the game is just over for you. I don't like it.
Maybe just win harder, I guess. I mean, to be fair, they have the Jushin, and I think Jushin is what really brings this composition together. Jushin being the main crux of it, Matilda as the butter in between the bread, and the raw pieces of bread being Alpha to Rizla. And I would only assume Ruby at this point, but it looks like JP beat me to it.
I actually love JP's draft. Edith, Aurora, Ruby, that is so much teamfight crowd control that MV will have to deal with. If they're looking for a gold lane, the Lunox is still open. Classic counter to Harif, Brilliance to escape from Hayabusa.
I'm thinking whether or not they're going to go into Natan here.
Medal in my pocket.
Ooh, Moskov. Really? All right. I'm fine with this.
Damn,
we
guys,
saw a
I'm
good
back.
game from
I
Rafa
was
last
playing,
time on this
actually.
Moskov. The global presence doesn't really matter too much or
I think
only during neutral objective fights, but the Spear of Despair in
tournament, I'm
particular
not gonna
is going to make
play
Eden's
around
life
with it.
difficult to look for a
I'm
clean
a little bit
onward.
tired
Same goes for
right now.
Hayabusa if he tries to
Maybe
quad
I will
shadow.
have to make
That
a
is
video
fair.
of the
Both team
live
lineups
stream
looking to
I
be a
did
little bit more
yesterday
balanced here, but we saw
and yeah.
very clean gameplay from the Niners. Was it thanks to the Angela Ling, or is there something better at play?
I feel that right now, JP, they're going back to their comfort roots, right? They're going to play around Lolios for a majority of that
they
game.
did
and
allow
plays
to
mid-trio.
purify
I think that
from
Yan 3 is
the
going to be
MV.
left on an island for God knows how long. But for MV, they can contest for this. I think as soon as Litho Wanderer is done, MVC level 4 is
how
called
to say it. Hayabusa was countered by
Invading is possible as well. We couldn't
by
even see the Matilda
Purify
go
or
in level
something?
1 to disrupt the opponent. But that will only be observed once we jump into the land of dodge. This is going to be game number 2 between Monster Vicious and JP Niners. The latter currently 1 game up. Can they get the clean sweep?
Well, let's find out here with JP on the blue side, taking his orange buff from Max, and Uni on his purple buff on the red side here. They're going to end up on the same spot.
I'm getting
the gold lane here where all their priorities
Mobile Zane
but we do
flashback.
see that Uni, he's going to immediately not even bother contesting for Litho Wanderer. He's just looking for level 4.
Yeah, if we can get level 4 first, we know Alpha can fight really, really well. And Hayabusa doesn't quite match up in damage until he has that first item.
Thoughts on Uni's emblems? He's going Impure Rage Fighter emblem
okay.
Alpha. So very pokey though.
It's very pokey, but also quite good for extended fights because Impure Rage allows you to top up your mana and then some of your HP.
Yeah, but it's not like Alpha has like a big mana problem though. That's not like his that's not like, when I think Alpha, his main problem is that he's all in, can't get out. Not he doesn't have mana, he can't even go in.
Yeah, that's an interesting choice. It means that MV are intending to go for more pokey playstyle.
That's what I would imagine here. I think it's basically still centered around the Martizi strategy of playing the Jushin. Jushin repositions, Uni just pokes him, then they just wait for that to happen again, and then eventually the all-in if they're low.
That makes sense on paper, though I feel like MV don't necessarily have to go in that way. They do actually have a pretty strong early game comp and can dive the members of the Niners. For now, though, a little bit more focus towards the EXP lane. Turtle will be up in a little bit.
I think the better question right now is how does Uni even enter the fight, right? Because Rossi is going to be on Ruby Roam, and not to mention that ZachQT generally is going to be very aware if Uni tries to go for an all-in. He's going to get frozen up pretty quick.
It's probably because of this that he goes in Pure Rage, right? Maybe he wants to play more on the outskirts of the fight first and then look for an opportunity to actually scare Alpha.
I think they give up, maybe?
Question mark? I guess we'll see. Rossi not level 4 yet, though, but Yetri flickers forward onwards, catches out Uni. Xeno with penalty zone, catches out Max at the same time. This is going to be a 50-50. Yetri gets the first blood on the Uni, and Martizi secures the turtle.
Oh, it's so sad. Uni just dies before this turtle
he's Martucci,
in
I'm
the
sorry.
retry range. Big Sagittarius here, but it did cost them 3 flickers. Zeno traded his own flicker trying to zone off Max. It was a good idea, but now we're seeing the top side getting dove.
Lolil holding on to his Purify for as long as possible. Still has to use it in the end, but will escape alive.
It was a good choice by Lolios. Had he not used that Purify, he was about to get lifted and yeeted back into MV.
Yeah, you do not want to lose Lolil at this stage. MV were still able to get the turtle earlier, but losing Uni means that Alpha loses a little bit of relevance.
Loses, well, I mean, for now, Uni generally is looking for level 12 before he's like proactively pushing people back into their own jungle. That's when his ult becomes really, really short. 63 seconds until we see the next turtle actually spawn here. We go back into the stalemate form.
Gonna be a bit more passive for now. I think that's fine for both of these teams. They don't need to force fights too often, but they both do have heroes that want to get a little bit of snowball under their belt at least, in the Alpha and the Hayabusa. So it's up to them to decide whether that focus goes towards the gold or the EXP side of the map.
I think it's got to be gold side, right? I mean, rough is their main win condition. Zeno, he's just going to be a scaling tank at this point that can wave clear effectively. Oh, Rossi though.
Rossi could be in some trouble. So the Eagle already comes out, knocks up the Ruby, but Niners are safely behind their own lines, so they're fine.
Yeah, but this means that they're going to cut off like reinforcement paths. We've seen MV do this time and time again. Hopefully JP. JP.
Nice turn.
I think it's dead. To the wall. Uni is
doesn't have free fight.
Oh my god. So Guiding Winds pulls Uni out. They can no longer commit.
Nicely played by Loliels. He played that really, really well, making sure he dodged absolutely everything here. Now Max has an opportunity to actually steal away this Lord because they're expecting the next fight to actually, sorry, not the Lord, the Turtle, for this pit.
This turtle going to be important. I think Monster Vicious have a slight bit more control since they already pressured the top lane a little bit, but Niners are already back in place. Max dumping in, poking out Martizi, trying to look for where Uni is.
They don't know which side of the map Uni started, so now that he shows back up, at least they might have a rough idea. This is going to be a tough contention point.
But Uni is level 8 though.
Both junglers are here, both gold laners up in the top lane. I don't think we're going to see a full commit just yet. They're both looking for more of a kickoff to maybe start off the fight.
Yeah, we did see Max clear up that bottom side. Same goes for Uni, but he does get the Sky Pierce. Oh,
the Flicker penalty zone catches Rossi.
Nice,
Flicker backwards from the Ruby being used. Max jumps back in onto
Marty.
Martizi, uses the ult from Zeusin, the Earth Shatter, flickers forward, catches out Uni. Frigid Glacier
Can
gonna be
he-
used right in the
Oh,
center,
he
but
got
Max
the loss.
still gets the turtle anyway. And Uni at the same time with
And
the
he do
Ogi
double
Shadow
kill.
Double
Oh
kill.
my
With
God.
a Hayabusa.
Nicely played by Rossi,
That's good.
honestly. Like,
That's
Rossi
really
could have
good.
yoinked Zeno in, but decided to hold on to his ult and lose his flicker, walks back up, and plays around Zach QT's stun. Just incredible stuff from JP.
Yeah, not a big fan of the initiation from MV there, actually. Zeno jumped in very aggressively at the penalty zone, but there wasn't a clear line to connect the rest of his team to him. Ruff now in some trouble. Zaman Force already used by Lolil forces him to dash away, and this is a free tier 1 up top.
Yep, and Lolios doesn't mind using the Salmon Force to speed the process up. He wants to get this lane swap done and dusted, ideally now rather than later, because even Zeno on the opposite side, sorry, Ye3 on the opposite side of the map was able to clear up so they can make a clean transition, 0 gold and EXP loss.
6 minutes in, 3 kills to 0. Already a 3k goal lead for the Niners. They are showing that their gameplay from game 1 is consistent. They have a plan. They know exactly how they want to execute on it.
Yeah, and right now, Max, he's legitimately dangerous, right? With that double kill and now a level lead against Uni, he's got a Hunter Strike and a Sky Piercer with currently 2 stacks underneath its belt. People like Martizi needs to be careful. Even Ruff can't leave Nova X Kobar's side.
Yeah, Monster Vicious going to be forced to play quite closely together, which is pretty bad
Oh
when
my
they
God.
already are in a tough spot.
But they can't.
Circling Eagle knocks out Rasi. Monster Vicious not really ready to follow up, and here comes the Yogi Shadow Kill. Killing spree already. Martizi is just gone.
my
Penalty
God.
zone only catches one,
Nice
and Zeno
deal,
gets
but
pulled back into
there
the
was
Niners.
nobody.
The rest of Monster Vicious nowhere
Damn.
close to save him.
Disgustingly good from Rossi
Guys,
here.
please don't
Really good
forget to like
reaction
and
time to
subscribe
punish
to me,
Zeno.
guys.
But it looks like Monster Vicious, they don't know how
Yeah,
to handle
help
this. The
out.
micro mechanics coming out from JP seems to be honestly better than Monster Vicious. Their executions have been a lot cleaner. Their timings have been a lot better. Monster Vicious, I don't want to say that they're getting outclassed because right now they're getting stat
Give
checked,
them
but
any
the decisions
chance
that
to
are
come
being
back,
made.
guys.
Yeah, I am loving the eye for opportunity that the Niners have. Martizi drops to like half HP. Max is just instantly go. This is the time. And they're saving resources too to continue to split apart Monster Vicious because they're just not strong enough when they're by
Guys,
themselves.
please like the stream, guys, and subscribe to me.
Gathered here together.
I want to reach
Last
100
turtle.
before the end of the month,
Could go
guys.
to anybody's side, but I need to see Zeno target
I
specifically.
do live
Max.
reaction
Like,
and
he's been jumping into a lot
some
of these fights,
gameplay
catching
too, some
weird
noob
targets, but
gameplay,
he
so-
needs to specifically get on top of Max with that penalty zone.
And even if you do penalty zone Max, if he has quad shadow set up, he escapes really, really easily. That's the problem I have with Terizla nowadays. It doesn't offer enough teamfight initiation unless you have another form of AoE CC.
They're going for the
But
Lord.
that's the thing, you guarantee it, right?
Oh, the concept, did he see him? Zero? Nice.
He actually jumps
Nice.
forward. Max
Oh.
already gets the Lord though. Spear of Destruction lands. So Ye3 gonna blink out. In the meantime, Zach
Nice.
QD already
Zero
finishing
dead.
off Zeno.
When he's
As well
dead.
as the Ogi Shadow kill, getting
Damn.
killing spree. So Ye3 going to be sacrificed in exchange.
But-
Monster Fish is actually in
Oh
position to
my
follow
God.
up on this.
But
and
that
they
was
even
good
get a
trade, I
bonus, a kill on Lolil.
Ooh, two
At least it's
for
better than
two.
nothing.
A 2 for 2, but the Lord is still in the hands of the JP Niners. Ruff should be able to manage this with no problems, but as soon as Max gets that Oki Shadow kill, expect him to make something happen across the map. Now,
They can
will have
defend
to
it
say that
easily, I
at least
think.
for Zach QT, he's playing absolutely fine. Loliels is the one getting a little hyper-aggressive.
At worst, they will only
Needs to
lose this
respect
tower.
Martizi's space.
Probably not
Yeah, on a
even.
Harif, you do need to get quite close up and personal, but MV that's exactly what they want from you. So positioning is important. That was actually a situation where Zeno should have been picked off early on, but the reinitiation actually worked out for them.
Honestly, it was pretty good, right? Because again, it was like, I can understand why Zeno was trying to force that play, because Lolios for the first time overextended and he literally just dashed. If you get a Purify out of him, if you get the
Ayuni
Hazaman
is
Force
2
out of
level
him, you should
behind,
be able
bro.
to tank until the rest of your
Oh
team
my
is there to
God.
save you. Worst comes to worst, Nova X Kobar guiding wins you out of there.
Yeah, a lapse in judgment, I think, because Niners thought they could take out Zeno quick and easily before the rest of his team could catch up, but that meant that they grouped up a little bit right in front of the Lord Pit and allowed the penalty zone to catch more than expected.
I mean, it's the body of the Smith diff, right? Radiant armor purchase coming in from Zeno. He's worried about Zach QT, 3, and as well as Lolios. It affects 3 out of the 5 members. Okay, decent purchase, but I would imagine that some anti-heal is necessary.
Doing damage.
Eagle comes in, pulls in Uni. Spear of Alpha catches out Rasi, but there's so much damage being done already. And Nova just instantly melts, and Zeno's
Zero, my dad.
He's going to be focused on by Lolios.
Zero, my dad.
Comes out
Nice
once
turn.
again. This time onto Year 3, and Spear of Destruction finishes him off. And the Spear of Alpha comes out a third time.
Oh my god, Ayabusa. Come on, clean it. Oh my god,
he's going
triple
in, he's
kill.
going for
Maniac.
all of them. Triple kill on the Hayabusa. Maniac.
Oh my god, double
makes it look
Maniac.
so
2
easy.
game double Maniac.
So easy. I don't know. He makes it look effortless. High fives all around the tables of JP Niners right now. But
Oh my
holy,
god.
that entire fight, Max is just chilling in the back. He's just waiting for things to happen. Uni decides to spear
insane,
of
bro.
Alpha Rasi instead of Loliels. He pushes Rasi out of the way, moves back, survives the fight. Because he's already level 13, he's got like what, a 11, arguably even an 8-second cooldown, depending on whether he has his third item or not, to jump back into these fights. And yes, it's great, but at the same time, Ruff uses his Spirit of Destruction to get back in the fight and ends up dying to Max anyways.
This is a 901 Hayabusa with 80 Sky Piercer stacks. He is taking people down left and right. Envy need to find him, but they're not quite able to do so because of the spacing. Again, this Edith, Ruby, Aurora gives them so much control.
It's difficult, but
Damn.
Monster Vicious are getting a little desperate here. Level 15 to level 14, Uni is going to take up as much EXP as he can before he shows himself. I think there is an argument for him, to head down to the bottom side, but Lolios finally purchases that third item after so long.
Holy Crystal is a huge boost to a hardest damage. As long as Lolil isn't picked off, Monster Vicious have another person to be worried about.
Now, it's going to be the Lord Dance here. No priority. I think at this point, Ruff probably should head over to the top side, but I think that Monster Vicious don't know where Max is. He's going to show up here, and that's when you see Ruff move up to the top.
The Lord going to half HP now. Lolil working on it. Conceal
Oh,
play.
they decide-
Forcing MV back. Niners just using it as a scare tactic, but also allowing Rasi to walk into the tri-bush to get some scouting in. Monster Vicious is going to look to try and engage. Lolil actually catches up on
Mark-
GZ, uses the
Mark
hunt point, but he's
getting
been pulled
allowed
in.
him.
Has
Oh,
to use the
nice,
Purify
Zero.
for the penalty zone.
Purify.
Frigid Glacier. Zeno flickers
Oh,
out of it,
Zero
but he's
dead.
still caught. He's going to be taken out. Legendary
Damn.
streak going over the
I think
Max.
they lose.
And Monster Vicious knows they can no longer fight.
The heck was that? Nova X Komar at any time could have communicated, I got guiding wings,
I
you can
think
go
they
in
lose
now.
it.
What? Did they not pull him out of position there? Were they going to fight? Were they not going to fight? Like, what?
There's definitely some desperation coming in from MVE. They want to make something happen. They want to get a pick off, but it's not quite enough. Too much control on the Niners. Spear of Alpha engages.
Oh
Beautiful!
my god.
Earth Shatter to respawn.
Max got the
but
Lord
Yefri
again.
going to pay for his own life as a result. Rasi going to be sacrificed at the same time. Max does secure the Lord, but
Oh,
now
he's
he is...
dead.
Spear of Alpha
No,
catches
that was
him.
close,
Spear
bro.
Misery
Oh
doesn't
my
connect
god.
with the wall, though. So Max keeps his streak alive.
Oh my goodness, that was already
Yeah.
on the very edge as well. The Spirit of Alpha
Yeah.
did catch him, but he was already mid-animation, so he only got like stunned at the end of it, getting slightly displaced. Luckily, he saves his stacks though.
And he needs to save those stacks. Max offers so much damage to his team right now, especially since Lolil has to delay his entry. Monster Vicious finds a little bit more breathing room, should be able to deal with this Lord.
Oh my god, nice Aurora, nice turn.
Catches out Uni, but Uni comes back in with the Spear of
dead.
Alpha. Finishes
Max-
off his passive. Ogi Shadow Kill gonna be used
Max
by
doing
Max
N
for
again?
very
I
low
think he's
HP,
dead
but he still
after-
gets the
Oh, no,
legendary
he
kill,
survived.
double kill on a Hayabusa. Spear of Destruction does not connect with the right target,
Oh
so
my
Ruff has
god.
to be pulled back to safety.
Max
Bro, you
is
sure
nasty
you
with
see-
it.
you
1
see
HP
his
in the
HP?
backline, already
was
uses
so
quad
low,
shatter,
and he
had
goes
to
back
okay shadow
again.
kill the backline, and then quickly switches
You know
over
me,
to
I
his
was
second
repeat.
shadow to take out Zeno and
Damn.
get a little bit of life back. Like, what can you really say? Max is having a perfect game.
Up 12-0. Zaman forced to take out the mid inhibitor. Nova trying to buy some space, but the I'm Offended finds
Oh,
Ruff in the
nice
back
turn.
line. They're under the crystal with
But
only
yeah.
2 minions alive, but that is more than enough for the
Oh
JP
my
Niners
god,
to
this Max
upset
guy.
the balance and
This
take
Max guy is
down
insane.
Monster Vicious.
Rasi just gonna end it up hands over. They made this look easy. They made a couple of mistakes, but they recovered beautifully
Oh.
from it. And it feels like Max, I don't know, when I look at him and seeing him play Hayabusa like that, playing Ling like that, This dude, you gotta remember, he's from MPL Indonesia. Used to be playing with his brother under BTR. They were a powerhouse for a reason.
He is literally maxing out right now at the end of the season. I think we'll just let LaFell handle the rest. GG, well played to them.
Terima kasih banyak pada para casters. Give it up for JP Niners!
Yo.
First of all, kita nak tanya pada Zak Kitty. Zak, sini jap. Okay. Zak, first of all, congratulations menang lawan dengan MV. MV pun dapat kalahkan SRG, jadi memang satu opponent yang kuat. Tetapi, adakah anda pernah dengar tentang MV punya prestasi lawan dengan tim yang kuat diorang menang, lawan tim yang lemah diorang kalah? Adakah tim awak lemah?
Tak.
Oh, tak.
Tengok sekarang, nombor apa sekarang?
Apa dia?
Tengok sekarang, kita orang nombor apa?
Sekarang ni cara korang cakap macam nombor 1. Whoosh. Power tu, Zak.
Top 3, top 3.
Top 3?
Yes.
Jadi Zak, bila dah top 3 dekat sini, macam mana korang punya confidence nak masuk ke dalam playoff? Rasanya macam boleh bantai semua orang ataupun macam nah belakang tapi relax sikit?
Kita orang still kena improve lagi lah.
Kena improve
kita
lagi.
Kita orang kena training more for the playoff. Itu je lah kita nak buat. Just training je lah, training lebih lagi.
Jawapan yang sangat bagus. Selamat. Awak ni memang anak yang baik.
Anak baik.
Jadi sekarang Max. Kita kena tanya Max. Come here, Max.
Damn.
First of all,
So you are
nak bagi
Max.
tahu, tali kasut terbuka. Tapi it's okay. Yang kedua, awak memang handsome. Oh my God. Nervous rasa. Okay, Max. Jadi jungler. Lagi pakai assassin. Bukan kerja yang mudah nak masuk ke depan, dapatkan kill. Dan banyak kali, you masuk keluar, dapat kill dan you selamat. Jadi boleh tak bagi tahu, dalam you punya team, siapa yang membantu you untuk pastikan you boleh masuk dengan selamat dan dapatkan kill? Rasi. Jadi Rasi yang bantu setup, jadi senang untuk dapatkan kill. Alright, dengan tu kita punya MVP dah ready. Agak-agak siapalah Max ke? Max, yakin ke MVP?
Betul.
Let's see. MVP pada match ni adalah
Max for sure. No way.
Sepanjang betul lah. Cepat! Siapa? Max!
For sure.
Max.
My guy looks so humble though.
Soalan yang mudah. Pada musim kali ini, banyak juga jungler yang hebat telah main dekat pentas MPL MY. Nak pergi ke playoff. Peluang Max untuk wakil JP Niners pergi ke M6. Jadi, ada tak mana-mana pasukan yang Max akan risau menentang di playoff nanti?
Gak ada sih, main aja.
Gak ada, main aja. SRG pun macam gitu ya?
Bukan gitu.
Oh, bukan gitu?
Main aja maksudnya.
Oh, saya lebih lah. Saya minta maaf. Alright, dengan ni, sementara tengah ada mic, ada tak apa-apa nak cakap kepada semua fan JP Niners dan MV yang hadir hari ini?
Buat fans JP Niners sama fans MV, makasih udah datang, udah bantu ngeramein. Makasih.
Saya ada dengar tadi. Anca. Mana Anca? Sini Anca. Anca.
Ya.
Okey. Tadi saya tanya. Biasanya MV dapat kalahkan tim yang kuat kalah dengan tim lemah. Tapi tadi Zak kata korang tak lemah.
Oh, memang tak lemah.
Memang korang kuat.
Oh, memang kuat.
Top 3.
Udah pasti.
Sangka tak korang dapat top 3?
Of course.
Sangka.
Daripada mula ada podcast bos tanya apa semua, regular season top 3 memang.
Memang.
Top 3 itu paling minimum ah.
Paling minimum. Jadi sekarang ni
top 3
regular
minimum.
Season top 3 dah tercapai.
Yes.
Jadi apakah lagi yang awak sebagai coach mahukan untuk JP Niners?
Mestilah kita nak pergi M6 kan. So memang our goals is to masuk M6 lah.
Alright.
Level, before aku bagi last word dekat fans semua, ada biasanya aku taunting kan.
Betul.
Tapi aku udah delegasi benda ni dekat satu orang.
Okay.
Aku akan bagi dekat Z.
Z nak cakap apa tu Z?
Sikit-sikit lah, ayah.
Boleh.
Bagi MV lah.
Boleh.
MV, mi korang memang dua hero je ke?
Tak Jushin Aurora.
Jushin Aurora. Sanggup diorang nak first pick. Sekarang Jushin minute dah rendah daripada 10% lah. Macam mana tu?
Macam mana tu MV? Habislah. Lepas ni, MV memang target kau.
Boleh.
Boleh
Saya tunggu korang ke playoff.
Tunggu dekat playoff. Anca, ada apa lagi nak cakap kepada semua fans?
Thank you buat semua yang dah
This
datang.
player looks so humble, guys. I don't know what they're saying, but I'm
saya
sure
cakap lah, kita orang bukan
they
kita
are
orang
not
season lepas.
trusting the other anything.
Thank you buat semua yang datang, especially family saya yang datang jauh-jauh dari Indo. Makasih udah datang.
Please guys, don't
buat
forget to like the stream and subscribe to me, guys.
Dan itu
Please help me reach 100 before the end of the month.
Alhamdulillah. See you in Johor, guys semua.
Nak nangis ke Anca? Alright, JP Niners! Thank you very much. Dan dengan tu, kita sememangnya dah selesai perlawanan kita hari ini. Tetapi saya bukan nak kata apa. Saya jarang dekat atas pentas untuk jadi host. Jadi sementara itu, saya nak ambil masa untuk diri saya sendiri.
Mic check. What are you doing? Oh my god.
Let's go to the mic check!
Oh, he's doing, how to call it? That hero.
Let's go.
What's his call it again? That assassin?
Bisa lagi sini. Ayo.
I don't remember anymore.
Nice. Yo, lihat gua. Carry. Carry. Nice boys. Uni. Dua climate. Mati.
Nice one.
Bawa langsung guys satu. Bawa. Iya kalau. Gatot nih. Dua kick. Specs.
Gua stun.
Oh my god.
Nice Max. Gua aman.
Naughty carry.
Belakang guys.
Oh.
Sabar.
Is he where he will get the manyak?
No, Teris.
Nice one, Max.
Nolty Teris.
Out aja Max.
Manyak?
Udah, guys.
Nolty
Oh,
Teris.
no.
Aman.
Nice, Max.
He get juice in.
Nice, Max, cok. Jungler gua nih, bos.
Gua cari buff dia.
Wave dia masih lama.
Enko.
Nice one, guys. Kalian memang jago, cok. Nice. Oke dia.
Mati sih dia.
Nice, Max. Golti.
Teris.
Nice one.
Mati.
Nice one, guys. Bisa
Double kill.
Gua ke atas. Gua lihat.
Gas. Puni Moskov.
Go on the way.
Sabex.
Kena nih 3.
This is where he come in again.
ML. Asel.
And still get double kill and survive, bro.
No porif dia.
That was insane.
Gua TP. Masuk.
Damn, bro.
GG, well played to the JP Niners. 2-0 Monster Vicious in a surprising fashion as well. They made it look hella easy, even though MV beat SRG.
Yeah, really effective and clean execution coming in here from the JP Niners. And it continues to be confusing about Monster Vicious. So where's the cutoff point actually? Maybe it is third place, right?
Maybe it's like a roundup system. I don't know.
Yeah.
they're right at the 50-50 mark, and it's like, we'll just round it up and join the rest.
They win against everything second place onwards, and then they lose to everything third place and below.
Yeah. I don't get it. I think that MV definitely wasn't as prepared for JP Niners' overall coordination, especially with that mid trio. Like Rossi, Zach, QT, and as well as Max are really jiving so well.
It's such an effective combo, and the drafting was really nice as well. Again, I cannot praise it enough. This was so good. Ruby, Edith, Aurora, and then you have two different forms of damage on Hayabusa and Harif as well. It's so many things that Monster Vicious has to worry about at the same time.
It just goes to show,
His
right?
message was
Especially with
insane,
compositions who aren't compositions who have a diverse cast of members that can give at least the 2 versions of available damage here in MLBB. It just means that if Monster Vicious ever starts to fall behind, itemizing later later in the game just becomes that much harder, because some of these items get real expensive, and not to mention the components as well give you very different benefits.
But I think the ultimate standout has to be, with no contest at all, Max with a 24-0-6 total KDA across 2 games on Ling and Hayabusa.
God dang, 24-0-6. Oh, and a GPM of 3,220.
Oh man,
it just doesn't
It's
stop at him. He
insane, bro.
literally had a perfect series, not even a perfect game.
It was the ultimate demonstration of what he is capable of. We know how scary Hayabusa is with a lead, because with that Sky Piercer, the Oki Shadow kill is just so painful, and he never dropped his streak at all. It came close once, but Max just has no fear. Like, the moment he dies once, a lot of his damage just goes away. Despite that, jumps in, 1 HP, doesn't matter. I have Oki Shadow killed.
It's too good. It's too good. I don't know. It feels like I'm not sure what was going on with MV per se. I think they had a couple of good ideas, but at the same time, the execution, I felt like they had much better odds in Game 1 than they had in Game 2, surprisingly enough.
It does feel that way. Because while Game 2... Now, Game 2 was just a stomp, right? From the early game onwards, once they made the mistake to give Max 2 kills. Like, this was almost the same time as last Game 2, 14 and a half minutes.
Yeah, pretty much. The funny part is that Lolios, Rasi, as well as Zach QT all have the same assists.
That is pretty funny.
Every single one of them, 11. Whoever they interacted with, don't worry, Max probably took them out.
It's just so much to deal with, because again, MV doesn't have the most solid forms of CC. I figured that they'd be able to play more aggressively this time, since they had the Matilda and the Zeus in to maybe catch people for alpha. But then JP have Edith and Ruby. You can't just dive into that. The draft was so good.
Yeah, it really can't. It's really tough because Year 3 makes life so difficult for Envy just by purely existing, right? Any kind of investment in terms of damage, even dispositioning him, you generally don't want to disposition him towards you. Always away, never in front.
I'm wondering if there is a bit of a hero pool problem, right? As they put it, Martizi has been playing very few heroes recently, mainly focusing on the Zeus in, which is locked in first almost every draft, which already takes away a bit of flexibility. Then we see Xeno also relying quite heavily on the Terizla, which nowadays only works into kind of niche counter matchups. So,
well, to be fair, the EXP pool is pretty small overall in terms of like if we're talking about like what's good in the meta right now, and there's a lot of problems that it brings to the draft because of it. It's very lane dependent, it's very priority dependent, and that all leads back to matchup. And I think I get where Zeno is coming from. We need a hard engager. We need somebody who clears waves at the same time. That way Year 3 doesn't sandbag him. And Zeno did his job. He cleared the waves fast. He kept up with Year 3. Found some, well, he found engages, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Whether or not to say that it's a good engage, that's up for debate.
Yeah. And there was one somewhat good engage where he actually turned around and reinitiated on the Niners because it took them a little longer to finish him off than they thought, and since they were grouped up, the penalty zone actually set up for MV. But beyond that, there was just not much else because it's so hard to catch multiple members of the Niners in a single penalty zone. And if the rest of the team is trying to catch up to Xeno to take advantage of the penalty zone, well, Max just jumps on in. It's a buffet for him, basically.
It's a pretty big buffet, but that's not the only person who had a buffet. Rasi, he got a lot of some nasty cancels here. Whether it's like taking some guiding winds, you can taunt them out of it. Let's not forget the fact that he yoinked a couple of people mid-air, as well as turning some really key fights so that Max can get into the turtle pit, steal it away, and then get a triple immediately after.
As a Ruby main myself, I've always held the sentiment that while Ruby is pretty good as a primary engager, she is even better as a secondary initiator.
So good.
If your team has another form of starting the fight, then you can save the I'm Offended for better timings. And since you have both Yetri and ZachQT to do that,
oh my God.
Rasi is just having a ball.
He really is. He's cancelled out some, like, so many times you see Nova X Kovar
Look at
try
this
to
mid,
go for
bro.
like
What
a guiding
the fuck
win
he's
that
doing?
Rasi's like, nope, I'm gonna stop you right there. No,
Oh my
long
God, this
distance for
idiot,
you.
bro.
I'm offended you think you could escape.
That's a good one. That's a good one. You forgot to mention the Wolf King
Fuck
in
you,
the last
bitch.
part. But
That was the don't run Wolf King.
At least go. Mid.
I hate
Stay
the skill
mid,
names.
at
I
least.
hate the
It
skill
is
names.
pretty funny.
It's the one
bitch.
hero that's like a little off-keter. Everybody else is like, okay, yeah, Zap Force, okay, Synchro Fissure.
I mean, you also
cool.
have glue, you know, pass, split.
They're the worst.
Look at them
Ruby is in the same
feeding right now.
category as Glue. Terrible
I think
names.
Popple and Koopa also has move names that are him like yelling at Koopa.
That one's a little bit more understandable, actually.
Yeah.
Now that I
Can I
think about
get
it,
him?
you're right. But I feel like that's slightly more justified. I haven't emotionally figured out how I feel about that, but
There's
I'll get
also
back
Melissa.
to you. No.
Yeah? Her lines are also her yelling line.
Oh my god, bro.
Wait, but it's like a full
They
phrase to
already
be
lost.
fair. It's a full phrase if we're talking about the actual,
Probably.
the whole skill name.
Is it though? I think I'm offended is a whole phrase.
Come on, man. Come on. Where do we draw the
Damn,
line?
nice.
At this point, Hayabusa is screaming out, Oki Shadow Kill!
I mean, it could be, you know? He could be from Naruto for all we know.
You have to play a minigame of doing hand
You have
signs
to
on
do
your
the hand
phone.
sign.
Getting back into it, at the end of it, JP
Nice.
utterly
Vexana's dead
stopped.
again.
18
Look
to
at this.
8. But in terms of total damage taken, obviously a very significant skew towards MV
Oh my
side
God.
for good reason.
Yeah, I think a lot of it comes from Max himself. And then Lolil had a slightly tougher time in this game because on the Harif you have to get pretty close to MV, and MV is very good at punishing people who are too close to them. Luckily though,
Look at this guy,
Max
he's not
was
even
just out
trying
of
to get the
control
blue
at this point,
at
so he
this
didn't
point.
have to take a lot of the
total.
pressure.
Yeah, I mean, MV really needed a tempo breaker here. I feel like Uni, if he already is going for impure rage, he's looking
my
for these
God.
1v1 moments. As soon as he hits level 4, he should probably be looking for like really weak human beings in the early game, like Rasi for an example. At level 2, that's probably your best bet. Lolios would be ideal, but like he's got Purify, so there's a good chance he gets away.
I think it's really weird that you put it as look for a really weak human
Fuck
being.
you,
Yeah,
bro. Fuck you.
yeah.
Some
Don't
of
tell me
them
what
are not
to do,
even
idiot.
human beings.
Come on,
Keep
it's
feeding
Ruby.
him.
She's like what, 4'7"?
Just shut up.
I actually don't know what her
Nice.
actual height is.
Dead again.
I'm just guessing it's 4'7".
Wait, so you're saying she is a human being or she's not a human being?
She is a human being, and she happens to be 4'7".
Okay, I was more meaning like Harif.
Well,
he's not a human being.
I don't know. I don't know how PETA feels about this one if I call it a human being.
God,
But
you
let's
didn't even
just
get
say yes. But the Purify still makes a significant difference on this one. I think that's why I feel like Rossi is more likely to be caught out of position, if
No way
not
we can
scouting
come
in the
back
middle
from
of,
this.
in the river. There's a good chance for it to happen.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. Looking at
I
the
don't
Hall of
even
Fame
know why
itself,
I'm
right?
buying
950
Skyfisher.
GPM, really good. Lolil actually doing 50k. I thought for sure Max was doing more of the damage, but that is pretty impressive when you consider his positioning.
Yeah, maybe they don't count the Sky Piercer execution threshold. That's probably why.
That's fair, actually, yeah.
Because he had a lot of stacks, and to be fair, if we went based off of the kills that he did secure, pretty much all of them. Wait, thinking? No, yes, all of them had hit the threshold for Sky Piercer.
Yeah, I mean, there's a good amount of damage in CC on the Niners. Basically the perfect lineup for a Hayabusa to play around. There's engage, there's damage to whittle the opponents down, there's people to take pressure off of you. Unfortunately, I think a big issue with this series was that MV was locking themselves in too early on. The mid and roam, very important duo, were picked early in both games.
That's a good point. I mean, there's a couple of things during the draft that's already like difficult to answer. Right now, a lot of it
Nobody
happens
can
to be with
even
flex
hold
picks,
it
and
to-
those flex picks, a majority of the time, lead to EXP and as well as roam. Two pretty impactful roles, but specifically in this meta, the roam role is very, very powerful. So with that being the case, showing off the Jushin and then immediately showing off Matilda after, I feel like it's a safe opening. Generally, it is safe. I think the problem here is when we get into the alpha sector of things, right? I think maybe Julian could have been swapped out for this. I think that I don't want to say that Zeno should have
can't
played
take
high
my
loss,
rate
but I think
anymore
they're
right now.
interchangeable
Because
at
if
this
I
point.
take it, they
I
will
think
invade
also
you.
the
I wouldn't know.
itemization was a little bit greedy from MV, which is understandable
Don't
because
have
they're playing more of an
retribution.
early game draft, right? They're trying to get more kills early on, so going War Axe, going Glowing Wand early to try and take advantage of that is good. But you also notice there's no Dreadnought again, no Antique. When Max is popping off, like Radiant Armor, the counter to remember is yes,
Didn't
but
die.
no one
No of them did
is
die.
reducing damage from the Hayabusa.
Well, here's the thing. There was also no gold on the map to play.
Maybe he may farm here.
They were
That's
getting
the problem.
They were getting hard farmed. Honestly, I can understand their itemization thinking because, again, it's just one guy. How bad can it get? And it got pretty bad here. With that being said, JP Niners hit the bare minimum and make it and shoot their way all the way up to 3rd place, knocking Todak, Monster Vicious, and Red Esports down a notch.
In fact, based on the remaining
Taking my
games as
blue.
well, I believe this top 6 positioning is already the confirmed seeding for the playoffs
not.
as well. Since Niners, Todak, MV, Red have already played their 9 matches, and the only remaining ones are Vamos and SRG, both of which are pretty fixed in
I guess that
first and
was
second.
nice.
That's not changing anytime soon. Especially SRG. They're 21 points by the end of
Oh
the
my
season.
God.
Could have been 20. To be fair, it could have been slightly higher, but hey, you know, everybody has their days.
SRG, they've held on
Oh
to
my-
their unbeatable regular season streak for
can't.
long enough, and I'm sure it has given them more things that they can learn from. It's really exciting to see how this playoffs is going to be shaping up, but we will still have a couple of matches left before the regular season comes to a close.
All right, be real with me, stuff. You do tier lists every 2 weeks. Was JP Niners in the 3rd spot for you?
3rd spot, no, but I think I did have them in top 4.
Okay, so you're slightly
check
off.
this.
Yeah, just slightly, because even Todak, Todak is in current 4th place, and then Monster Vicious, and I know Monster Vicious is a little wonky for the tier list.
Yeah, they make my life hard, Gideon. They make my life hard.
Understandably so, but hey, at least for tomorrow, there's only 2 best of 3s. We have Vamos versus Team Ray and Team Hawk versus SRG.
There's gonna be no pressure on these remaining matches, though maybe for Team Hawk, if they want to move themselves up to be safe from having to drop down the MAL, they want to maybe get 1 point. But SRG, that's gonna be tough.
Hey man, I'll treat them like anybody else. If they 2-0 SRG, they might just push themselves.
Hey!
Yikes. It's a tough ask for both Team Ray and as well as Team Hawk. I think that Team Ray has slightly better odds because we do know that Vamos like to play the early game too, and Ray has been specializing in it.
I think Team Ray is one of the strongest early game teams we have here this season. Straight up. I'm actually a little sad that they didn't make it into the playoffs because I wanted to see a little bit more from them. I feel like they're starting to find more of their strengths, but we're not fast enough, unfortunately.
I think even next season. I think a majority of these teams are like literally 1 season behind reaching their peak.
I can get behind that.
I'm all down for it. I'm all down for it because these teams are going to continue to grow, and if Ray can actually shake up Vamos fundamentally into their core, at least it'll teach Vamos something before the playoffs. We got a pretty big break before then.
Yep. All right, let's go ahead and have a look at the playoffs. A bracket we can already show you guys and quite safely say where
look at
teams are
this
going
guy.
to
He's
be,
taking
even
my-
though we
my
have
red
1
bro.
day left. As we all know, we are going to have 3rd through 6th place playing in the upper bracket quarterfinals to make it into the upper bracket semis, where they will face against 1st and 2nd.
Yep, with the regular season 1st sitting right on top, that's probably going to be Slime and Red Giants. 2nd, probably going to go over to Vamos. So the question is, who is going to face each other in the
Oh my
play-ins to
God.
make it
I missed
to
that.
the upper bracket semifinals? And once they make it there,
Let me
at
stay
least
here.
it's a
Maybe
double
I can.
round robin. They have 1 more life if they drop the series. But from that point on, from this point onwards in the playoffs, it's all best of 5s until the grand finals for the penultimate best of 7.
Since last season, we've
Yeah,
shifted
bitch.
our playoffs to be closer to the
Nice
other
throw.
regions. So, yep, best of 5s for every match, and then a best of 7 grand finals. And because M6 will have 2 slots allocated to MPL MY, as long as you make it to the grand finals, we'll get to see you at M6.
Hell yeah! Finally, being a host is actually quite nice to get the free passes, not have to like send a team through wildcard and absolutely dumpster everybody else. But hey, you know, gotta share the fun.
We gotta share a little bit of the fun with everyone else. Make sure you guys start thinking about which teams you want to predict making it to M6. And if you guys haven't, plan your schedule to come join us in Johor, because there's going to be plenty of fun stuff to catch.
Go in?
Yep, make sure to start planning out. Your guest coins are going to matter in this one. Some of the big odds are coming when the playoffs begin.
Oh my god, please don't
Keep in mind
give
that
me
we do have a bit of a break until the playoffs, actually, like a 2-week break until that actually happens, but that's only once the season ends. We got one more day of playoffs. Any final words before we close it out?
I don't think there's much to say. This season has had a lot of ups and downs. Very unpredictable, entertaining, but also at times very grueling.
Very painful. I can still imagine it. I can still see the moments of just really awkward fights. But that's part of the Malaysian experience. We have the highest highs and the lowest lows. With that being said, my name is Gideon Q. This is going to be Stafa here at the desk of MPL MY Season 14. The regular season continues tomorrow for its very last day. We'll see you then. Good night and goodbye.
Go to Nana. Oh my god, this Mashkov is actually insane. What? Okay, I thought he was buying it. Nice. This Moskov is insane, bro. Why go in against 2 people? Oh. Idiot. Oh my god, didn't timing it well. But at least he doesn't have passive anymore. guy starting to run. Oh my god, what the heck did I do? Oh my god, what the heck did I do, bro?
Shadow is my best partner. Say.
Request backup.
My belief.
Legendary.
It shall carry me further.
Oh my god, this Nana is doing me a lot of damage.
In the shadows, I seek light. Ha! Say.
Initiate retreat.
Oh my god, this guy is running from me like crazy.
Every cloud has a silver lining. I will be the Akakage. Say.
What are you trying to do, bro?
The two sects shall unite.
An enemy has been slain. Ally has been slain. An ally has been slain. Legendary.
Oh my god. Nice, at least do something. Come on, nah. These people, bro. Guys, please don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. It helps a lot out. I want to reach 100 sub before the end of the month. Oh my god, they may die. They died. This Vexana is so fucking useless, bro. Let me wait for this guy. Yeah. Oh, this guy, bro, is so fucking annoying. Just like that, I died again. Fucking shit, bro. Like right now, they focus me because they know I'm the problem. At least kill one. Oh my god. No way I'm gonna let these people win, bro. No way. Look at my team. Look at this Vexana. 1-7, bro. Imagine, a Vexana, you get 1-7, bro. Fucking shit. And that's not alone. He take my blue too. Now we lost. They die. They die. I will not be able to defend the Lord alone. And yeah. Got my scope at least. Oh my god. This camper. Okay. Surrender, guys. I don't want to go again. How can we win? How can you defend by yourself? Fucking forgot that there was this fucking... Well played. It was like me alone fighting for all of them, bro. There was no way. Anyway, guys, GG, bro. I'm gonna end the stream here. See you tonight for the stream of NRCT. Guys, bye. Don't forget to like and subscribe.